The switch that goes off once you make your first dollar online is that I'm just never getting a fucking job again. You're like, it's possible. I've done it. All right, I'm just going to keep figuring it out. If you think about it, if you just forced yourself to only have to make money in an entrepreneurial way to survive, you would figure it out. If you didn't give yourself a plan B as an option of going and working a job, if it all goes to shit, if you're just like, no, okay, I can do more marketing for this business I'm working on. I can optimize this. I can work harder. I can just keep going. It's inevitably going to work itself out. You're not going to starve. You're not going to lose your home. It's going to be okay. So just keep working on it. I feel like a lot of people are just too afraid to even start at something. And then obviously making your first dollar online is the hardest, realistically. Once you make that first dollar online, you see it's possible. We recording?
Yes, sir. I'm jumping straight into it.
Nice.
Actually, let me get some water. I get thirsty. Sorry about that. How's the drive?
It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah. How's the live stream? The webinar?
The webinar was good. It was good, yeah.
Sorry.
Now you're chilling. You got the Saratoga. Did you know about Saratoga before the Ashton Hall stuff?
Yeah, because my mom, she gets the sparkling one, but I'm not a big sparkling fan, so I just like the bottle. I like glass bottles, so I fill it up with a...
Yeah, I usually drink glass too. We have a Mountain Valley subscription.
Yeah? That's sick. I always see... my buddy loves Mountain Valley. I can't afford it, though.
I didn't know it was that much of a price difference.
No, for me, I'm just such a brokey. Like, I'm such a, like... I don't know. Especially, like... now that I'm building out this business, like any money that doesn't go towards my business, I'm like, oh, that's too expensive. Like I tell everybody, this black t-shirt you see me with, I have a rotation of like 12 and I stay with the same black t-shirt all the time. Like I really don't put my money anywhere else now unless it's my business.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I'm wearing the black tee underneath this. I have a few different leather jackets I rotate between, but fashion, stuff like that, I got to lock in on it more. I don't put any effort into it.
Me either. I don't know what it is. It just like, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. It also looks like a lot of effort. I used to be a kid who had like long hair and stuff. I mean, you see me balding a little bit now. I just put an age, but even
How old are you?
26.
Okay.
How about you?
21.
Yeah. I actually read that somewhere. I wanted to ask you, because I was reading somewhere it was really interesting. You were like really young in school selling water bottles, selling snacks. You even said, I'm pretty sure in a podcast, that you had like an extra locker where you just had snacks stored up. And you've always had that like entrepreneurship mindset early on.
Yeah, from a young age. I think my first side hustle was probably selling lemonade back before we even had lockers. I grew up in the city in Boston. So there's this, have you been to the Feast? In the north end of Boston? So in Little Italy every summer they have all the Italians get out and they have like the sausage stand and this and that, and so usually you have to pay thousands of dollars for a license to have your stand there. And because me and my friends, we were young cute little kids, we used to just like throw a table up and sell lemonade and compete with all of them, and we would market, be like, we want, we're getting new hockey equipment and shit. You'd make like $1,000-$2,000 a weekend and then split it between us. But
What? Wait, at what age is 1,000, 2,000? That's insane.
Probably like 12, 13. I mean, split between 3-4 people, it was like maybe $300 to $500 each. I don't remember the specifics, but that would last us months back then.
Yeah.
Months of candy and sports balls at Target and just like random stuff.
That's hilarious. I wanted to ask, sorry, I just had a brain fart.
You're good.
Cause that's another thing about my mind. Like I'm so all over the place, and today my stomach's been like acting up. I've had a long day feeling sick, so I'm like
On the toilet a lot, huh?
yeah. But I actually saw you traveled. I don't want to get this wrong. Is that called the Mecca to Umrah?
Umrah is like what you do there, where you walk around so it's the Kaaba, which is like the mosque, the box that's there, and then Mecca's the city, and Umrah is where it's like your pilgrimage. You walk around 7 times. There's some other little things you do too, but that was a crazy experience.
Yeah, what's the feeling like?
We went on the last 10 nights of Ramadan, so it really is just like the most packed environment you could possibly imagine. Like Times Square on New Year's Eve, but for miles. And the craziest thing about it to me was just there's no fighting. Like it was just completely peaceful. You have people from Asia, Europe, South America, North America, Africa, all over the place, and everyone was living together peacefully. And there's so many reasons to get mad at someone, like stepping on toes. Like you're walking around like this everywhere you go. There's lines for every single food spot you want to hit, and there's just no fighting and bickering at each other despite all of the excuses. It's pretty crazy. I'd say one of my main takeaways from that trip was just like how big the world is. Honestly, just realizing like, damn, there's just a lot of the world I got to see. There's a lot of the world I got to see. Like being the minority in a place too is pretty interesting as well, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna ask because I could only imagine. Have you had to deal with any Islamophobia, especially like since you've grown a decent sized audience, actually a huge audience? I could only imagine. Like I see what Christians say online. I see when it's Christian versus Muslim. Have you had to deal with any negative like side effects?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't like to call it Islamophobia as much. I've personally just noticed that the way people criticize Islam, they do two different things. They either just like lie about the religion flat out, or they criticize the character of the people. And like obviously, you know, logically, you don't dictate a religion based off of like people that are following it. You know, like in our perspective, Islam is perfect, but the people following it aren't. So, yeah, I mean, like, you know, you deal with a lot of stuff with talking about this stuff online. Like, it's definitely not something you just do to get clout and make money off of it. You know, the Islamic audience, it's a lot of third world people. They don't have a bunch of money. Like, you're not profiting crazy there. And, yeah, there's a lot of like personal repercussions you have to face with making this kind of content. It's hard to pivot to different audiences when you make this kind of content. So I'm just really passionate about it. Like I truly believe Islam is like, you know, the truth at the end of the day. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like the hate comments and stuff, it just looks like little robots to me. Like it doesn't really bother me. Like you seem like an intelligent guy. Like you know that, you know, Islam doesn't tell people to blow stuff up and kill people. And this. Like at least if you're gonna like, criticize the religion, just say something true. Like you don't have to lie about it. You know, saying your prophet tells you to do this, and it's like, well, it's just not true. Or they just take stuff out of context, and then people get all their religious information from Instagram Reels, and it's just like, oh man, no one's ever coming together like that. You know.
How did your family feel when you took your Shahada?
I was just bad about it with my family, honestly. Like I just wasn't as upfront with them as I should have been. They were all good about it, honestly. Like it was just a bit of a shock to them, but you know, they've seen me just like working to become a better person, giving up my vices, praying multiple times a day, still staying close with family. I think one of their worries was that I would be, you know, getting distant from family because that's what happens to a lot of other people. And I've only gotten closer with everyone, so there's not much to complain about, really. Like life's good, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I seen you pivot a bit more into your new company that you're building. Do you mind explaining a little bit of what you guys are doing and where you want to go with it?
Yeah, for sure. So what I run is a TikTok shop creator agency. Like, do you have TikTok shop or TikTok on your phone?
Yeah.
So you see the TikTok shop videos?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we do is we train people how to create those videos, and then we connect them with the best performing brands on TikTok. So it's an amazing business model because I'm actually incentivized for my students, my creators, to do well. So typically with another coaching offer, it's like, you know, people pay you the money up front and then it's like, oh, good luck. You know, you're not really incentivized for them to do well. But I directly make money with my students when they get sales. So wow. It's been a really interesting process building this whole business out. I've noticed the main thing is keeping creators disciplined. It's not even as much about teaching them the logistics and, you know, the different styles of videos you can do. Even though we teach them all of that, it's more so like, I'll give you an example. I built out the whole TikTok shop course and all the resources and everything that people needed to know, like at first. And then I noticed like some people would just post for 3 days and then give up. So I changed the first videos people see when they join to what I call the upgrade your character course, where it's like how to journal, upgrade your lifestyle, not upgrade your lifestyle, like optimize your phone, like getting one of those widgets that like blocks social media. Don't have Instagram next to your business apps where it's easy to click onto it. Building a morning routine for yourself, journaling, all these different aspects that people apply to their lives, because a lot of people coming into this business are at ground zero with, you know, their entrepreneurial journey. So they haven't built up what I think are like the obvious daily habits. They haven't built those yet. So that's been really cool to see, just like a lot of people literally like changing their lives in front of my eyes. Like every time I hop on a call with them, they're like, this is so crazy. Like that alone is worth the money. Like some guy said, the tip I gave about planning tomorrow out the day before, like that alone is worth the money he paid. And it's cool. But the real goal with the entire business is to get an army of people that know how to get millions of views, and then launch my own e-commerce products and have 8-figure exits from those. If you have 250 people that know how to get millions of views each and they understand how to push products, you just launch your own. You have an army and you just go charge. And from their perspective, the only thing they have to worry about is creating good videos, which is so nice. Like they don't have to pick the product and deal with customer service and this and that. I just send them a free sample, give them 25-30% commission. And, you know, for people that go through the training process, they get a monthly retainer. So you pay them like $150 a month minimum, just like post once a day. It's the easiest money. It's the easiest side hustle in the world. Yeah. In my opinion. Yeah.
Definitely. I wanted to ask you, when did you initially start off with content? Because when I first popped up on your YouTube, when I recently popped up on your YouTube, I should say, I seen the short films, and I love short films, I'm gonna be honest. And first of all, congratulations. It was a sick film. It came out amazing. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
But I know, like, now that I've been creating my content myself, I see how difficult it is. And to get to that level of execution, it's insane. And it definitely took you a while. So when did you first begin?
The first videos I made was when I was, I think, 12 years old. The account's still up on Instagram. It's called North End Ballers. Me and my friends used to go around Boston and just like throw basketballs and footballs off of roofs and do trick shots and stuff. It was a group of me and 4 of my hometown friends. So we had like the local little clout, nothing serious. It was like, it was a joke. Because back then, like there was no Instagram Reels or anything back in 2016, 2017 when I was posting. The only way you grew was by, I don't even know if there were stories yet back then. I don't even know how you grew. It was like collabs and just like what the algorithm was. Like we just spammed hashtags and did the most random stuff. It's so crazy how it's never been easier to go viral with short form content nowadays. Yeah. And then they're implementing, Instagram just added the new trial Reels feature. So I literally re-uploaded old Reels I already made onto that and I've gotten millions of views just from that alone. Like it's just it's so crazy the way the content space has been pivoting lately into clipping and more people posting for you, and it's just nuts, bro. And just like spamming Reels on your account, like 1 million followers on Instagram now, like it's not the same aura as 1 million followers 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago, if you had 1 million followers, like the mechanism you took to get that was like you were on the news and you were on big videos, or you're a movie star or this or that, or you know the biggest pages are posting you. Now you could have a few Reels pop off that get 10-20 million views and you're at 500,000 like that, you know. It's crazy. But yeah, the first account I started was that trick shot account back in 2017, 2016, and then throughout all of high school I was grinding becoming a professional Fortnite player. That was my whole thing. I was known as like the Fortnite hockey goalie throughout high school, and that didn't really go anywhere. I probably peaked at like 10 average viewers. Wow. Nothing special. Made like 2.5K in my whole Fortnite career, which, you know, it sounds good, but like in the amount of hours you're playing, you're making less than like a slave. So
definitely,
it was good though. That's the stuff you got to go through.
Yeah. Do you think without those experiences, without just doing 10 viewers, putting in all those hours, you'd be where you are today? Because I feel like those are your trials and tribulations you went through to get to where you are.
No, of course. Like the way you become successful at anything is just simply throwing hours at it. So, you know, if you just embrace the fact that, you know, you're a beginner in whatever you're going into, and every single video you post, every stream you turn on, whatever it is, you're just going to learn something. You're going to gain some knowledge XP. It just becomes like a video game, and you kind of just embrace the fact that you're just consistently leveling up. You know, if you're just afraid of, I just don't even see the point of being afraid of failure. Like, what happens? Even with posting videos, let's say you start a TikTok. Okay, the TikTok either flops and nobody knows, or it goes well and they ask you how you did it.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. So it's like, I don't know, people, I just feel like get too stuck up in analysis paralysis, overthinking every little thing. And I do it too. Like, we're all guilty of it, but you have to really just push that aside and just charge. Like, I don't know how to edit. I don't even know how to use a camera that well. I couldn't set up a studio like this for the life of me. I can't build shit, but I'm just stupid enough to, when I have a vision, I just charge. Like, I wrote that short film, Upgrade Your Character, just decided to block out a few hours one day and just write it. And then I saw my boy Sakeb, he makes cool work, so I brought him out to Miami and we just cooked it. Like, it just, I didn't go to film school and get all this experience, and that video's gotten like 10 million views total now. It's that one video alone too is crazy. Like, it's changed my life in so many different ways. Like, being able to show someone one of my short films and be like, this is what I can make and this is my brand. It's a crazy networking tool as well, making dope content.
Definitely. That's how I actually got attracted to you at first, in the sense of I need to reach out and I need to have them on my podcast, because I actually saw earlier on a few clips of the reaction videos you and your mom used to do. And recently was when I ran into your short films. I was like, this style of content, just your whole life, intrigued me a ton, and I really wanted to sit down and have a conversation, just hear more about you, because like we talked about a little bit earlier, it's all short content now, so you only get these clips of people, you know what I mean? And the one cool thing about podcasts is, like, I get to hear all of people, you know what I mean, every side of it, and get to see the genuine side instead of just like the 30 seconds, the 45 seconds that might be the best or might be the worst. Because you know how it is, like, sometimes people get clipped out of context and they look crazy.
Yeah. No,
Have you ever had to deal with that, where people clip you out of context and you had to deal with repercussions from it?
No, 100%. Especially with talking about Islam, I try to be really careful, because it's like, yeah, there's just like some clips that have gotten out where I'm like, oh, that doesn't look good, and it gets like millions of views, and then your family sending it, and you're just like, oh, if you watch the whole thing, it's like, it's not like that. It's not even what I meant, but I don't know. It's just a part of the game at the end of the day, Like,
Yeah.
I signed up to be a content creator and do this stuff. Can't really complain about it, but try to be as articulate as possible, so that doesn't happen.
How do you practice that? I gotta ask you, because I noticed that too. Like, you speak very well, and that's one thing I'm trying to practice, because obviously I'm doing my podcast, so I don't want to sound crazy. Because if anybody takes a look back at my first episode, I sound like, well, you see my confidence isn't there. You see just everything isn't there. It's building. It's day one for me. So how did you get to build that over time?
It's honestly like what I said before. It's as simple as just throwing hours into something. Like, if you watch, for me too, my first Mom Reacts videos, I used to look in the camera and like play with my hair and tweak my face. I used to go like this a lot. And just over time, you naturally work those kinks out. I'd say another thing is the people I surround myself with. So I spent a lot of time with Sneeko lately. He's very articulate when he turns on the camera. So naturally, when you're around those people, it just rubs off onto you as well. So I'd say the main things too, that, and also rewatching your content is helpful as well. If I look back and I see, okay, maybe I'm using the word as well too much, or I'm saying like or then I'll try to make a conscious effort going forward to not say those things.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I edit my own podcast, and sometimes they take me hours or even days. So when I'm like listening to I drive myself insane, and it's definitely something I try to get better at. And there's a few words I've already cut out in the few episodes I've already done that I'm just like, I cannot listen to myself say that again, man.
It's pretty funny. Every 3 months, I look back at myself from 3 months ago, and I cringe.
No way.
Every time. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm going to look back at this podcast and cringe, inevitably. It's just part of the journey, but that's what happens when you're leveling up,
Yeah.
You evolve, shed off some skin, unlock a new level, and then you look back at your old character and you're like, you were slacking. You know? It's the way it goes.
How important is it to surround yourself with like-minded people who want to evolve and level up?
It's so important. So a lot of people, you can't necessarily surround yourself with like-minded people until you already have some momentum. So to start, the best way to meet other like-minded people is 100% online. 100% online. Even you, like, we technically met online. All the people that I talk to nowadays, I met online, and now they're in-person relationships. But when I was in high school and in my college dorm grinding, I wasn't just trying to like save my college friends and my high school friends, bringing them onto this. If they weren't ambitious, like, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. I was joining Discord groups. I was doing affiliate marketing for servers and networking with the other top affiliates. Just like getting a group of people that really understood the goal you're working at. For me, that was TikTok marketing. You know how Mr. Beast says, he's like, I studied thumbnails for 1,000 hours and did this and this. I did the same thing with TikTok with a group of guys as well. And then we ended up starting a company together. And then that's where we generated millions of dollars, was us. But I didn't even meet them in person until we basically made all that money. One of them I never even met in person. Like, that story is a whole podcast in itself.
I need to hear it.
Of making bro, it's a crazy long one, and there's so many layers to it. It's funny, like, a lot of people are afraid to talk about their time in the NFT space because, you know, they did shady stuff or they rug pulled or something, and I've just been very open about it since the start of my YouTube channel. Basically, should I just start from the top for this one? All right, to summarize, we made about $5 million my freshman year of college from my dorm room, and it was in the NFT space. So
what's that feeling like?
So the way it works with NFTs is we made all that money mainly in 3 drops. So it'd be like a month, 2 months straight of work to make $1 million, $2 million. So the first drop, I'll say we did $1 million in 73 minutes, an hour and 13 minutes. The second drop was 1.2 million in under an hour, 50 something minutes. And the third drop was $2.5 million in 13 minutes in my college dorm.
Freshman year.
Yeah, it was spring break week, and all the dorms were empty. Everyone was out partying, and I was like the only one back at the dorms when we made all that money. It was crazy. Yeah. You know, I wish I documented it more. Like, I wish I just had my phone there, like, watching my reaction when I did it. Like, it's funny how with whatever you're doing, it just becomes normal.
Yeah.
It all just becomes normal. Like, my advice to anyone that's starting on their success journey is to just document more, you know? Those hours where you're putting in work at your computer or you're filming videos, get a second angle or talk to the camera and just say how you're going to be successful one day. Because that shit's so cool to look back on, and I wish I had more of it. But yeah, the NFT space, it was like, I don't even know how to summarize that story. It was so much stuff condensed into like 8 months. So the way my real entrepreneurial journey started was I would watch a bunch of like Diaz and other entrepreneurial YouTubers. And I decided to, you know, build up a TikTok account so that I had a following to promote a dropshipping store that I would create. Okay. Because Bia Heza at the time, he was talking about how he had all these social media, these Instagram pages that he would promote his dropshipping stores on and make some money from it. So I was like, all right, I can start a TikTok account, try to get a little bit of a following, start a store, and then push it. And at the time, GameStop and AMC, like, that whole trend was going on. So when I started my TikTok account, I obviously was just going to hop on the bandwagon of whatever was popping off. So I started making TikToks like, if you invested in X a year ago, what it would be worth today. And it blew up like instantly. And I guess that's from like the hours that I put into my Fortnite TikToks and this and that. Who knows at the end of the day? It's obviously just a compound of all the work I did. But within like 3 weeks of this brand new account, I had like 40,000 followers or something, and in the stocks and crypto niche too, which is like a very high paying niche. So even though I was providing no value in these videos, people saw me as like an authority. Just like, this is why social media is so stupid, because it's like I was just some high school kid that was just trend jacking stocks, and then you got people DMing me about which stocks to get and this and that and post more, what's next, and I'm like, I don't know what's next. I said if you invested a year ago, what it would be worth. But anyways, I kept growing this account over the next 8 months. posting more stocks, crypto finance stuff. And I just became the stocks and crypto guy. Like I would just learn, read a book, watch a video, and then relay my information online. And 8 months into that, I probably made around like $40,000-$50,000 total from the account, from just like affiliate marketing and different stuff. And that's where some random guy in my DMs hit me up and said, just like some faceless account guy, and he offered me 20% of an NFT project with a $50,000 budget. So if it sold out, I would make like $300,000 or something.
Holy
So he
smokes.
wired the money, like sent it on a crypto address in crypto, and I got started working on it. And pretty quickly, like I brought on one of my old friends that I was studying TikTok with before, and then he brought on someone else that we kind of were studying TikTok before with as well. And when we started that TikTok account together, like within the first 3 videos, we had 20 million views on a brand new account. So that's why everything happened so quick. Like within starting that account, 4 weeks later, we sold out our first $1 million drop.
Wow.
Literally 4 weeks after starting the account. Yeah. So like one of the kids that was our partners, because it was 3 of us, he was a faceless, anonymous 16-year-old.
No
I knew he
way.
lived in Brooklyn. That was it. Yeah. I didn't know anything about him. Like his name, nothing. And my parents would be like, you need a contract. This is getting serious. And I'm like, I can't get a contract. The kid's anonymous. And so I was new to Discord back then. So this is where the real problem comes in, is he owned the Discord server.
Oh, okay.
So as we were trying to I personally had my brand doxed on the company. Like I had my face on it and stuff. Cause like I wanted to be the Steve Jobs, like pioneering this, building this big company and having a $50 million exit in a couple years. That was my vision, not just like taking a few $1 million and then dipping. Like that's just stupid to me. Always want to build more. And what was I going to say? Where was I going with it? Where was I?
Discord.
Oh
You
yeah,
had your
so the
face
kid. All
docked,
right,
your
so like
face.
as we're trying to make the whole company bigger and whatnot, for the third drop that was coming up, that was $2.4 million. Like we were trying to get VC funding and like really go big time, and we couldn't do it with like an anonymous kid running the whole Discord. And he would threaten to just like take away your roles if you disagreed. It was so Wild West, like hierarchical. It's hard to like explain to someone that wasn't in the crypto space just like how crazy and raw it is. Like just sending transactions, half the time you're gonna get scammed, but that's just the risk you got to take with the crypto space. And like it was just insane. So on this third drop, we sent this 16-year-old kid $1.5 million for Discord ownership.
Wow.
Yeah, retarded.
How does that work?
Like it was just like, how does it work? Like,
Yeah, you bought him out pretty much for his Discord, so you guys could be
for
the
ownership of the Discord, so that we could try to like actually start like building the company into
so you guys
something
could
legitimate.
go into getting VC and
Exactly, yeah, like get contracts and do it all right. So the third partner was the middleman in this equation. He's the only one that I met in person, and so the anonymous kid sent Discord owner. All right, he got the money, the 1.4. I don't even remember the specific number. You can find the transaction out there. It's all on the blockchain. The 1.5 million he got, and then transferred Discord ownership to my other partner. And behind the scenes, because me and the anonymous kid, we weren't on talking terms by this point. It was like blowing up. Behind the scenes when negotiating, he took like a percentage of that guy's cut for the deal to go through. So me and my other partner were supposed to take like a percentage cut of our pay from the drop, in order for like the company to progress, because like we needed to like invest basically the rest of the money back in. And so he took like a fat percentage of what that kid ended up taking, the anonymous kid. So he screwed me behind my back because we're partners. Yeah. And then once he got Discord ownership, he was just like, okay, well, let's just do another drop. Let's just keep selling more. And I was like, bro, we've sold $4 million in NFTs. Like, can we start building something like real, and not just keep like marketing and hype and shit? Because that's the real stupid thing about the NFT space, is that it's not even about what you build and how good of a product it actually is and the utility it has. It's literally all just about hype. So It's crazy, man. So once that money went to him, he sent it to my partner. That guy, like, as we're about to start building, time to bootstrap, guys, and grind, he basically goes ghost. And then the NFT market crashed. Crypto went down. We had our money in ETH. That goes down 70%. And it was just a shit show. So I basically was just like, all right, like, you want to sell more drops and, you know, scam people? Go ahead. I'm out. I just dipped and started YouTube and then blew up right away. And that was basically, yeah. And bro, that's like such a summarized version of the story.
Yeah, I
like,
can tell you're holding back. It's just, it seems intense. Like, the one question I want to ask you is, like, do you remember the stress levels? Like, how did it feel to be in that moment? Because I can't imagine managing that amount of money and it pretty much is all up to somebody else making sure it goes through. Like, the stress you're dealing with.
It's different because, like I said, it's the Wild West. So before drops, where there's about to be $1 million hitting a wallet, like, you send a guy to the developers, bro. You do some weird shit. Like, I'm telling you, it was crazy. Like, I learned a lot of real life stuff from doing that. Just turning 18 years old. Like, one of the community managers, he lived near the developers, who were like, yo, like, go pay him a visit, like, meet him in person before, check it out, like, you know, find some stuff out. Have some safety precautions in case, like, he tries to scam or something. Because, like, your developer, he was the one that could really screw you. Like, there was some nightmares of people selling out, and then the developer goes ghost and just, like, moves to Greece or something with millions of dollars. And then also, like, the other partners and playing chess with that. It was crazy, man. Like,
Do you mind explaining to me? Because I never dealt with any developers or NFTs. So the developer, he's the one that makes the code for it. Like, he's the one that pretty much has ownership until he gives it to you guys.
Yeah,
Do you mind just explaining
exactly. So he builds something called the smart contract. So like when people buy the NFTs, it's something called minting. So like they give whatever 0.08 ETH, and then it all goes into a wallet, and you can code it so it's like, you know, your cap can be 3,000 total NFTs. So when they're sold out, people can't buy more. But it's not like a website with payment processing. It's just like a website with, you connect your MetaMask wallet and then you send money essentially and get an NFT in return. So stupid. It's retarded. It's so stupid. Like, it's such a ridiculous business model too. Like, I don't even know how we got all that money back then, to be honest with you. Like, it blows my mind to today. It was really just the marketing and hype around it.
What's the biggest lesson you learned through all that?
Oh, yeah. So you were talking about the stress levels. I invented something called the bullshit-ometer because every week there was just some new ridiculous thing that I had to deal with, or just like the company about to fall apart, and we would move past it and keep pushing forward. And I just realized that, like, no matter how shit life is or your business is, inevitably it always works itself out. It's like when you have your you know, when you pull your headphones out of your pocket and they're all scrambled up?
Yeah.
It's like inevitably, with just the more you just go like this, shit just works itself out. It straightens itself out. And also thinking, like, you know, is this problem that I'm facing right now, this stress that I'm under, will this be a problem a year from now? And if the answer is no, then, like, chill out a little bit, bro. Because with enough time passing, it's going to be all right. You know, just, like, analyze the board logically, make clear, rational decisions, analyze where your time could be spent most efficiently, and charge. You know, not getting too much wrapped up in the weeds and, you know, too caught up in the moment of, like, the stress of, you know, this and that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit. Because it's just, like, my mind is going on, like, just crazy circles, because I can't even imagine. Every 18-year-old I see, I mean, I went to Rutgers University and I also went to Monmouth, actually, my first year. So I experienced, like, the college lifestyle, and people just were not focused grinding to the level you were, you know what I mean? So I can't even imagine, like, to the level you guys were taking it, the money you guys are making, like, just the way you guys were moving at that age is insane to me right now.
It was crazy. Another hard realization was, you can't lead a horse. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like, I would try to get my college and high school friends into the, you know, TikTok stuff at first, and then into the NFT stuff. And I would give them a layout. I would give them the game plan, you know, join this Discord, watch these videos, read these documents, you just do stuff, keep, like, getting invested into it. And just people wouldn't do it. Like, the college friends that I made for the first 3 months of college, yeah, they saw me like posting TikToks at 100K, but like that's nothing that crazy. And then they saw me go to literally like making millions of dollars in front of their eyes. And just like nobody took action or just like wanted to learn, or maybe like when they're drunk, it's like, I want to lock in. And that's it.
Isn't that crazy to you though? Like, people could see all that happening around you and not make a genuine effort to try.
Yeah, it blows my mind, but I don't know. It is what it is, bro. Like, same thing with TikTok Shop right now. Like, if you just post videos every single day and your videos keep getting better, you're inevitably going to make money. Mm-hmm. It's that simple. Like, you can just scroll in your feed, and every time you see a person posting a TikTok Shop video with that little product connected, they're making money. So why can't you? Like, there's so many different mechanisms to go after for making money online. The reason I just chose TikTok Shop for my business right now is it's just because it's the simplest for people to get started with.
Yeah. And in my opinion, I don't know, you would know more about this than me. I think it's one of the most effective because it's like you're scrolling, click, and you have it. It's in your cart. You could shop it right away. And you see the biggest and smallest creators doing it. Like, people, I see a lot of creators, like, let's say they have millions of followers. The comments will be like, oh, he's broke, he's washed, like, he needs money that bad. But dude, if the guy's already been successful, made millions, and he's continuing to do this, it's because the business works. You know what I mean? The plan works.
Yeah. It's insane. Like, when people are in that like scrolling on social media, they can have a product on the way to their house in 2 clicks. Like 2 clicks of a button when they're scrolling past streamer clips, butt cheeks, and then a product that they want that, you know, is a good video that sells them on it, and it's on the way to their home. Like, it's the future of e-commerce. Mm-hmm. It's almost like dangerous how much money people are realistically going to be spending on it. Like, I'm sure there's going to be a problem of people spending too much money on TikTok Shop because they just get caught doom scrolling and don't realize how much shit they bought. And the people that are just making the videos, they're on the profitable end of it. So I'm thinking like the big term, you know, like I said, my goal is getting an army of people that are ready to post every single day, humble enough to learn, keep pushing forward, and then just get them to charge with, you know, the best products that I give them. And it's been going great so far. Like, the business is going nice right now, but the real goal is those 8-figure exits with our own brands for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. Where do you see your content going?
It's an interesting question. It's honestly something I'm still thinking about. I'm most passionate about making the short films, but when I make those, it's like weeks of my life. That's where they're all I think about, and I have a business I'm running. Like, it's hard to navigate being completely creative with your content and running a successful business. So I'm just going to keep posting more vlogs and just taking action with stuff, simply. Like, coming on more podcasts like these are fun to do. You know, when you get the headphones on, you lock in, it's nice. And yeah, just like kind of having fun with it, honestly. That's been what I've been like journaling about lately with where I want to go with my content journey. I have like a documentary coming out in 2 weeks about how being a professional gamer secretly trains you for being successful in the real world. So that's going to be really cool. And then, what are you going to say?
No, because the second you said that, I thought about how you said, like, XP and you were leveling up in real life, like how you related those two. I just wanted you to continue on that, like how cool that is. When did that, I might have asked you a little earlier, but when did that switch go off where you're like, all right, let me transfer the XP that I've earned in the game to now getting real life XP where I'm building skills that'll benefit me, into having those 8-figure exits you're speaking about, having maybe other things in life you were looking for?
Yeah, so with Fortnite, I was trying to become one of the best. Like, my goal at the time was play in front of millions of people and, you know, win that $3 million. But COVID hit and the prize pools went down dramatically, and eventually you realize you're just like, all right, like this is just getting gay. And so I'm putting all my time into my Fortnite character, you know? You spend 2 hours in the morning training your building, and then you do 1 hour of aim training, and then you do 2 hours of practice review, and then you do 3 hours of scrims to practice your matches. And you're organizing your day out like a businessman, except you're building up your Fortnite character, not your real life character. And so with COVID, that's where I really had the switch, where I was like, all right, I'm a beginner in the real world. Let me just start with watching YouTube videos about business. That's where my mind was at. Like with making this pivot, I was like, I'm just going to start with business YouTube videos. I'm going to watch some real estate ones. I'm going to watch some on taxes, like the Graham Stephan and that shit. And I would just make it a thing in my journal every day to just watch 2 or 3 of these videos, take some notes down on whatever I was watching, and then eventually try some shit. And there it is, bro. Like the journey to success, once you make it, it almost seems like divine of how it works out. Like how much that one TikTok that I posted on that stocks account changed my life forever. It's mind blowing to think about. It's truly mind blowing to think about. But
would you say it also changes your mentality? Because it's now like the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? Like you might have thought like, oh, I could make it or I could blow up a TikTok account. But once you actually see the account blow up, like, is that like almost another switch going off where it's like, all right, now I'm doing this?
I'd say the switch that goes off once you make your first dollar online is that I'm just never getting a fucking job again. You're like, it's possible. I've done it. All right, I'm just going to keep figuring it out. And if you think about it, like if you just forced yourself to only have to make money in an entrepreneurial way to survive, you would figure it out. Like if you didn't give yourself a plan B as an option of like going and working a job if it all goes to shit, if you're just like, no, okay, I can do more marketing for this business I'm working on, I can optimize this, I can work harder, I can just keep going, it's inevitably going to work itself out. Like you're not going to starve, you're not going to lose your home, it's going to be okay. So just keep working on it. Like I feel like a lot of people are just too afraid to even start at something. And then obviously making your first dollar online is like the hardest, realistically. Once you make that first dollar online, you see it's possible. Even with my creators, like it's so funny. Like I keep talking about them, but it's so interesting to see the way their brains navigate. Like once they get their first sale, then they start posting like 5 times more TikTok shop videos. You know, they go so much harder. Or when they see someone else pop off, it raises the aura of the entire group and everyone starts working harder. It's been really interesting seeing how they move. It's been cool.
Definitely. That's actually like, that's probably one of the coolest feelings. I can't even imagine it. Like you're literally seeing a ton of people chase their dreams, which is cool. Like what's that feeling like, especially helping them? Because it's one thing to like for you to just be watching from the outside and like my buddy's grinding for this and he's making it, but you're one of the main reasons they're making it.
It's surreal. Like it's insane, bro, honestly. Like
would you ever have thought you'd be in this position?
No, I don't know. Like not necessarily. Like I don't even know how many people there are that have like dropped out of college and quit their jobs from either like working with me or my coaching, like or just watching my videos. It's it's surreal, bro.
That's truly a blessing, man. I mean, you're changing people's lives for the better.
Yeah, and so I'll say with like running a program, something I really had was like imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, even with billions of views and generating millions of dollars in different avenues, you still get that feeling where it's like, should I be doing this or teaching this? And I would also get the fear of like people not being happy with the actual product. So I added just like way more shit than even promised with just like the brands and how many videos are there. And I don't market like the life-changing aspect of it. Even though that's people's favorite part once they join, of like, you know, the ways to actually upgrade your life. But yeah, like it's just so rewarding seeing people pay you to like learn something and then them actually getting their result out of it and being happy. Cause that's like, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if people were paying me money and like they just felt scammed, you know? It's like, I'm going to have to face, at the end of the day, I got to face the creator for every single dollar that I make, you know? And if I'm making that in ways where I'm lying and being mischievous and snaky, like I'm going to have to face God and be like, yeah, I know you said do good on this business and I didn't do it. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. And in Islam, it talks about making halal ethical money. It holds a lot more weight than making haram money and quick, easy money. And I've learned that, like making millions of dollars and then losing it like that from crypto crashing and making a bad few investments, you learn that, like, all right, easy money in, easy money out. It was a bullshit business model anyways. I didn't deserve millions of dollars for selling NFTs, you know? It's too quick of money for how skilled and knowledgeable I was at the time. Yeah. Same, bro.
Do you think God put you through that to learn that lesson?
100%. Yeah. Everything's a lesson at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was going with it, my brain's farting right now.
No
Is you'll
worries.
see like some random family in like Yemen or some shit where the mom makes like $500 a month. Like it, fiscally looking at it, like they're starving and they have more than enough money to feed their family every night. I mean, more than enough food to feed their family every night, and they have a home, a roof over their head, because they make their money the ethical way, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
if you just like really do not take shortcuts and you just do the right thing, like God's got you at the end of the day. That's truly what I believe. That's truly what I believe. And if it hasn't worked out yet, it's just part of the test. You know, I always looked at myself, even before I was successful, like I was in my pre-success stage. That's what I would call it. Like, you know, when you look back at, let's say there's like a Times Square photo with like a bunch of people and they zoom in on it and it's like, oh, look at Tom Cruise in 73 before he was famous. It's kind of how I used to look at myself, like in pictures and shit. I would be like, oh, I'm probably going to look back at this. I don't know. I just had that mentality from a
Yeah.
young age.
That's funny you say that, because I was talking to one of my buddies, and we pretty much had the same conversation. Like, because he's an artist and he's doing really well in music for himself, but he's been an artist for the past 5-6 years, and just hearing like-minded people, because there's not many people that think like that in this world. But sorry to take it back. I wanted to ask you, how did you deal with that imposter syndrome?
With the imposter syndrome,
Mhm.
really just, I worked my ass off with just adding more. Are you talking about more on like the content side of things?
Yeah.
Or like the insides of
You said earlier that you had imposter syndrome when you first dropped your course and you were teaching people, and you kind of added a little bit more than you think you should have at first. Is that how you dealt with it?
yeah, like I just made it so actual good. Like I don't think our sales process is like that on point, to be quite honest, with like getting people into the program and like funnels and shit. Like it could be a lot better. I put the majority of my focus into like, once people pay, they're getting to fucking work. Like they have their own one-on-one coach too. So like they have someone that texts them every day
Wow.
to make sure they're like moving through the training process. And you know, they get like their own success like checklist built out for them when they join, for like steps that they have to do, like watch these videos, do this tasks. They have assignments to do to get the trained role and shit. Like it's crazy how we built it out. And yeah, I think I coped with just like making it an awesome product. So like, let's say someone bought my course to try to, you know, expose me. It'd be like, good luck, bro. Like do it. I dare you, you know?
Yeah,
Like
that's
show it.
sick.
Like if someone made an expose on what I've built, it would just like drive more sales. That was the goal for me. The content side of things, that's something I'm still working on, to be quite honest with you. Cause like,
Yeah.
you know, once I started making the short films and like what I consider like perfect videos. I love the 3 short films on my channel. I think they're awesome. And I don't want to just start posting just like vlogs or anything. I look at my main channel like my portfolio now. And so you get in your head about like, because you put so much time into these videos. It's like weeks of your life for like a 6-minute video. And then you're thinking like, can I post a raw reel on Instagram just yapping, or do I have to like maintain this filmmaker aura? You get in your head about it crazy. Like I can't even lie. So that's something I'm still working on, to be quite honest. But the way I cope with it is just raw action and just charging forward and, you know, doing more shit.
Yeah, that's sick. I heard you talk about journaling. Does journaling help you as well?
Definitely. Yeah, yeah, it's really nice. Another thing about journaling, it's kind of what I said before. It's like, if I'm where I think I'm going to be in 10, 20 years, like these journals could be in museums,
Yeah.
you know? And it's really cool to just journal and look back at your old journals and just reread of where your headspace was. Like I would do anything to go back to my 7th grade self and just hear about like the girls I was thinking about and the problems I had and beef with teachers and what I was getting in trouble for. Like I just forgot 95% of it. I couldn't even tell you a teacher's name from, you know.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, and like high school, like I barely remember my teachers, especially because, bro, with my high school, it ended in junior year with COVID.
Wow.
So I really only had like 2.5 years of actual high school, and then the rest of it was virtual. So I've technically been out since I was like 16 years old.
How did that affect you? Because I was in college when COVID happened, so I was going into my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine being in high school because high school is a time like, dude, you see how fast people grow from freshman year to senior year, from junior year to senior year. You change tremendously and like that in an instant. So what effect did that play on you having to go to high school during COVID?
I just locked in on Fortnite and and then I feel like COVID was a blessing for most people, to be quite honest with you. Like it allowed you to step back from the system you were in and kind of just like make your own moves, you know. A lot of people got into business and trying different stuff because of COVID or pursuing their passions just because they had extra time.
Yeah.
They weren't so wrapped up in the bubble, you know. So COVID was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me, to be quite honest with you. Like I was spending more time in Florida and ranking up my Fortnite character, and, you know, and then it got me into the online business space. So
that's actually so funny you say that, because a lot of people I talk to at my age, they said COVID like ruined it for them, and even myself, like I said, COVID ruined my life in that moment, because I mean the life I was living was where I was supposed to like start building my actual life, in the sense of getting a job, finishing school, like meeting all my friends, stuff like that. And I just looked at it so negatively for a while. But then I looked at the positive sides where I'm like, oh, that was the first time I started trading stocks and learning about how to trade stocks and how to build a business. And then I started making money from sitting at home. And you said something earlier, which is so hilarious. Like when you make online money, when you make money sitting at home, you're like, I'm never getting a job again. Like that's the last thing you want to do. So I find that hilarious. Like that's really cool.
Yeah, no, that's one of those level up scenarios. Making your first dollar online, like you unlock a new badge for sure with that one.
Definitely. How did when was the first time? Because now that I'm thinking about it, was the NFTs the first time you saw like a large? Because that's $1 million. Like that's an intense amount of money for an 18-year-old. Was that your first time like making over $100,000? Or did yeah?
Yeah. That was my first time making over $100,000 all at once in like an hour. And it's crazy. The video's out there, but it was the day after Thanksgiving. So I was at my family's house in Long Island, and they're all surrounded around me when we sold out. And it's just like, you could see, it was really interesting. Like, you know, you got like family members that work all year to make like $80,000, and they're looking at like their 18-year-old nephew making $1 million in an hour. Like, it's an interesting dynamic, I'll tell you that for sure. And then we went out to dinner that night to get Chinese food, and I remember the bill was like $200. And like obviously I just made all this money, like I should pick it up. And I was like, because it didn't click yet.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't click. You're like, it's funny. Like it takes time. Once you make a lot of money too, it takes time to get used to that. Like actually having money. Like you're still very much in scarcity mindset with like not wanting to spend or not necessarily be generous. Like I was still like, I was fresh out of high school. Like even spending $200 on dinner back then was crazy to me, you know. It was usually like, yeah, my dad pays for that when you're that young. So it was funny, especially when you're out with your whole family. But
did your family's dynamic change at all when they saw you make a lot of money? Because I hear some stories of where like family members get jealous or greedy or pop out of the woodworks, like needing money, needing something from you. Did that happen to you at all?
No, not really. My family was definitely good about it for sure. There wasn't even much like jealousy or anything. Maybe just like some ball busting. You know, they just bust your balls, but nothing crazy.
That's the Italian coming out the Guido.
Yeah, they would bust balls. Look at this guy talking up. He's got a new podcast online. He knows fucking everything. You know, this guy knows everything. You seen the clips? I see the clips. They bust my balls, but Nah, no, like hitting me up asking for handouts and stuff like that. They were all really good about it.
Yeah,
It wasn't like that, you know, it's a lot of money, but it's not
mhm.
that much money to where it's like I didn't win the lottery.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I want to speak a little bit more about your family culture. What it's like growing up in an Italian household. Like,
Um, it's pretty. It's like it's interesting the way Italian culture's evolved.
hmm
Um, so like it's hard to even pinpoint like what exactly is Italian culture because it's also tied in with religion too. So, Christmas and Easter and stuff like that. Like those are events where everyone gets together. So, it's definitely interesting. Like I'd say my favorite aspect of the Italian culture is just like everyone's near each other. Like you got your cousins nearby and family spends a lot of time together.
hmm
That's definitely my favorite aspect of it. Not necessarily like the specific things you do. It's just being around each other and having a lot of laughs and shit. Like that's really it.
Yeah.
Taking a trip together once a year. But I don't know, bro. Like Italian culture, I'm just trying to think like what exactly it even how do you even define it anymore? I don't even know how to define it to be quite honest with you. Like everything's so weird. It's such a weird state now. Like when you watch The Sopranos or even one of those shows, like it's not the same as that kind of
No.
aura. Like it's already lost a lot of that oomph, you know? I don't know if it's the same for you being Dominican, like if you guys have really held strong, but it's
Um,
very different.
yeah, I would say culturally, we've held strong in the same sense of like just having a tight knit family. We spoke about this before we hopped on a little bit. Like one thing I see Italians and Dominicans have in common is how close the families are, which is really cool. Cause like without my family, I'd be nothing, man. I love like seeing all my cousins meeting up, sitting in the pool, barbecuing up. Like there's nothing better for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the family get-togethers, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the best part of it about
Yeah.
it all, easily. 100%.
But Dominican culture, I would say,
I mean the food. I'm not trying to cut
yeah,
you off, but like obviously the food.
yeah.
Everyone in my That's funny. Like I'd say that's the biggest thing is the food. Like all my family thinks they watch the Food Network while they're eating and while they're cooking. Like it's nonstop. They like sports. I don't care about sports as
Yeah.
much. Like when football's on, like I just could not. I could not care less, honestly. Um,
It's so funny because you said you played hockey in high school.
yeah.
Did you ever watch hockey?
When I was younger, I used to watch sport like hockey. Yeah, I used to
Yeah.
be like a Bruins fan and stuff. But
How come you're not a big fan of watching sports?
I can't. I don't really watch much. Like I'm passionate about filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
So at least when I'm watching a movie or a show, I'm soaking in some aura that I can use in my videos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a lot of people say my short films have like Martin Scorsese aura to them.
I could definitely see that.
And I think that's just from being a sponge with watching these movies. Even with being I come back to TikTok. It doesn't even make sense to me why more people aren't TikTok marketing experts with the amount people have scrolled. Like if you took the amount of hours that you scrolled on TikTok and you just had your brain on paying attention to stuff, pattern recognition. I've seen this hook a bunch of different times. They use sounds. This person doesn't use sounds. And you just kept your brain on. Everyone would be a TikTok marketing expert. And it's the same thing with my short films. Like when I watch movies, I don't just turn my brain off and just enjoy them. I pay attention to the transitions and the dialogue and the flow and all the different aspects to it, And it just rubs off onto you. But to finish my point off, watching sports, I just get nothing out of it. I don't
Yeah.
care, I don't bet. I never got into betting or anything
Mm-hmm.
because even with betting, when you run a business, like that time you spent betting, you could have just spent on your business and made more money.
Definitely.
So it's like that shit. None of that stuff, is
Yeah.
interesting to me.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, my friends think I'm a weirdo because I don't watch any sports. Like, and it's actually really cool to hear you say that because the last year, I haven't. It's weird to say, but I haven't watched one TV show, one movie. I haven't consumed much content unless it's like you said, to learn pretty much. I want to try to be a sponge in the content space in the sense of like everything I'm watching is with a purpose.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love sports. And if you take me to a sporting event, I would love to go to one and watch one in person. But there's no way you're catching me sitting at home watching it on TV. I just feel like I get nervous. I'm like, I feel like there's better things I could be doing right now. I don't know.
Yeah, like 'cause there's so much. Exactly. Like even with watching a movie, like it's not the most optimal use of my time, but like I said, at least I'm soaking in some aura and I'm gaining some inspiration for future work that I do. With like there's I have a fat to-do list on my phone of stuff to do, and whenever that is cleared out, there's another one that builds itself up. Like that's something that I'd say that's one of the most important things that my mom taught me was there's always something to do. Like with working at a restaurant, that's where I really learned it, is I was running dishes up and down the stairs. You know, so I would go behind the cooks, grab the hot pans, run them downstairs to Julio. What's up, my friend? You know, and then run them back upstairs. And in between that, you know, filling up people's waters, and you can roll more fucking silverware. Just a million different things to do with something as simple as a business. I mean, with something as simple as a restaurant, let alone launching a whole entrepreneurial venture where there's always new content you can post. You can always optimize the sales system. You can always make the inside product of what you're actually selling better. You know, like you can outsource, so you can analyze where your time is going. Is this the best use of your time? No. Can you train this person up on it? Get them to start doing it within a week or two. Okay, that's outsourced to them. Is it all like there's so many different things to be doing that I can't focus on the Patriots.
When did you work in the restaurant?
That was at the start of my TikTok account. I was actually still working at a restaurant because I was in like that, I was in like that finance taxes mindset. I was like, I'm stacking up my taxable income working as a bar back. And I remember talking to one of the customers, and I told her like, yeah, in 2 years I plan on buying a house. And she just like laughed at me. Just laughed at me. I haven't bought a house yet, but I made a lot of money. It was funny. Just like
you could afford a house.
I could afford a house. I could afford a house. That was the point. Yeah, it's funny, bro. The bartenders I used to work with, I had my work wives. It's the stupidest shit in the world looking back on it. Haram. But they used to joke about like there'll be bartenders on my yacht in Miami one day. Like I don't know, I don't know if they really saw it in me, but like everyone kind of joked that like I was going to be successful one day, and then I just did it. And then they were like, "Oh shit." You know?
That must have been from like the work they've seen you put day in and day out. Cuz I feel like, how do I want to put this? Not many people, like especially nowadays, nobody really believes in each other in the sense of like, oh yeah, you're gonna make it, kiddo. Like keep going. I just see a lot of hate, and that's one of the main reasons I started my podcast. One of the cool things you said too is you've never gambled. Like you notice I have all these chairs in here. A lot of people have come in here. A lot of people have talked to me like, yo, why don't you get a bunch of girls on? Why don't you like do a bunch of this or that stuff? And that's just like negative stuff that I don't want to put in the world, you know what I mean? Like I want to try to add value in any way I can, you know what I mean? And I don't think I'm going to be adding value by being like, hey, click my link here to go to FanDuel, because I know how detrimental that could be to somebody's life. Like at the end of the day, what people don't understand with gambling, like it's a drug like no other, you know what I mean? In my opinion, I think gambling is probably a stronger drug than like alcohol or weed, honestly. I don't know if you've ever met anybody who like addicted to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's disgusting. Like, you have these influencers that make it cool of gambling and getting drunk. And I just think it's not funny. Like, I don't find it funny at all, man. It's such a dark rabbit hole to go down. Not that I have, but like people literally killed themselves from it. And you as an influencer, you make all your money off your audience losing money. Gambling. Like, that is the most scumbag way to make a living ever. I make my money with my audience making money, not with them losing money. Like, and it's just such a cheap, lazy way. Like, you get some attention. Okay, Prize Picks, they'll pay you $100,000 a month for some Instagram stories. That's haram money, bro. Like, that shit does not hold away. Astaghfirullah. That's some bad money to make. You don't want to deal with that. Not only does it have spiritual repercussions, like you're going to have to face the creator on the day of judgment for how you made your money. In this real world, it's bad for you, you know? It's not good. Like it can literally affect your health making this bad money. It doesn't fulfill you. It goes quicker. It comes in and out. It holds less weight. I don't know if people understand what I'm saying when I say like holds weight. Like a dollar the right way and a dollar made the wrong way are not the same. The same way as like, you know, you could get 1 million views making something awesome or making some stupid Jack Doherty clip that gets 1 million views. The awesome thing holds a lot more weight than the rest of the other things. So I don't know. I just hope these guys that like are promoting gambling and stuff like wake up one day and make a switch, because I used to watch the Nelk Boys growing up and I thought they were the coolest shit in the world.
Yeah.
And looking back, I'm like, oh dude, I was such a little robot. Just
Yeah.
like Steve, shotgun, and fire and bets, and it's just like there's always one of those new clowns that's out there pushing this shit.
Yeah, me and you both. I used to love watching that.
I can't watch their shit anymore, honestly. It's just like I'm not trying to like bad talk them or anything, but like just like the birds and
Yeah.
you know, it's like damn, I get why Jesse left, like how it just became too much.
I completely almost forgot about that because like I told you I went to Rutgers, New Brunswick earlier. I joined a fraternity there, so it's like. But I will say one thing about my frat. Like, we had a ton of fun, but we had the highest GPA on campus once I joined. So, like, watching the Nelk Boys is just, like, grown men being frat boys in the sense. Like, I get that's their content, but at the same time, it's like, what point does it get to be too much? And, like, you see
When it leads to depression, like, I'm sure if you looked at the behind the scenes of these guys' lives, like, they're miserable. You know, like, everyone knows being at the club and drinking and firing bets doesn't fulfill you. It's just a face you put on. It's a facade. So, and you know, I'm not gonna speak on it. You know stuff like behind the scenes too. Like, these guys do some weird shit. Not the Nelk Boys specifically, but the more degenerate you get with the money you make and the content you make, like they do some weird, freaky shit. That's all I'll say.
I was actually talking to my buddies about it because it blows my mind. Like. Because I feel like I'm just a normal guy in the sense. Like, you know what I mean? I just like to work hard. I like to stay to myself. Like, I don't like to bother any people. And I don't enjoy degeneracy anymore. I feel like I was younger. I didn't know much. And I had to go experience the world for myself to realize, like, that stuff isn't for me. Like, my friends know me. Like, it's very, very difficult to get me out to go grab a drink. Like, I've probably stepped out once out of my house to go drink with my buddies recently, you know what I mean? It's difficult for me to like get myself to do these type of things anymore. So I don't know. Like, I think about it and I'm like, I almost like kind of get into my head when I talk to my buddies. I'm like, how does people's brains even work where they could let themselves do certain stuff? Like,
you know what the biggest thing for me with stopping drinking was I look at, you have a spiritual shield around you. So what I like a lot about Islam is, first, I truly believe that like the Quran is like the direct words of God. So like the way it's like your creator explaining to creation how to live properly. The same way if you were to make a car, you would make a user manual that goes with the car, you know? And he explains in the Quran how there's two free-willed beings. There's human and there's jinn, which is like the unseen world. But they have free will and they're going to be judged. And so us as humans, we have our spiritual shield. So there's stuff you can do to like keep that spiritual shield higher. It's almost like Nazi zombies where you like, you know, you got to like hammer the doors in, you know, because the zombies are trying to cut in, like the jinn. And, you know, something like praying 5 times a day keeps your spiritual shield high. Making wudu, are you familiar? You know what that is?
Yeah.
It's where you clean yourself before you pray. It's just like you wash your face, your feet, your hands, all that. Like you stay clean. Because the unseen world, the bad spirits, they like filth. They're attracted to filth. That's why when a lot of these celebrities do demonic rituals, they spread poop and stuff for Allah and, you know,
stuff for Allah,
all on the wall, and they put it in symbols and shit, and they all, and then the spirits come out. Like, that shit is all real. And one of those things that breaks your spiritual shield is drinking. It's like your Fortnite shield bubble, and you get holes in it, and it allows the jinn to fuck with you. And I think we see that clear as day. I see one, like, even with my family, like, anytime there's like a big problem or some drama, someone got drunk and some stupid shit happened. And it's like, when are we as a family or as a society going to realize this drinking shit is just stupid? It leads to no good. You get hammered, you barely even remember what happened. And then even that fun, it's like, it's in that fuzzy state. It's like hard to even like latch on to all my drinking memories because I was on a different vibration back then. So for me, the big thing to get me to stop drinking was I want to keep my spiritual shield high. And I believe that, when I talk about this stuff online, I get like a lot more spiritual attacks too. And you see it firsthand, like the amount of shit you got to deal with when, especially talking about Islam online. Like I said, it's not something you just do for clout and money. Like a lot of repercussions come with it.
Do you think that's just the shaitan speaking?
Not necessarily just the shaitan, but I'll tell you, like, shaitan will get some baddies. He'll get in some baddies' ears and tell them to DM me. Like, out of nowhere, all right, I give up girls, and you got, like, models hitting you up. Like, why do I have models hitting me up? Like, this doesn't make any sense. So he'll test you in really interesting ways. He'll test you with your friends and, greed and arrogance, like, just interesting ways he'll test you. I think it's fascinating that in Islam, too, like, the unseen world, they whisper in your ear. So
really,
yeah, like it's not like not all thoughts are yours. I think this is a misconception a lot of people have, is they think that every thought that comes into their head is their own conscious, and it's not. There's an unseen world that can whisper fucked up stuff into your head. And a lot of the times where people have these weird thoughts where like I'm gay or I'm trans or this or that or do this crazy thing, I think it's just like the unseen world messing with their psyche. And then they are convinced that that's their own thoughts. And because they don't have what I believe Islam, when they don't have like their spiritual protection, they're more susceptible to those attacks. And even you can ask like wizards and witches, black magic doesn't work on practicing Muslims. Like people that pray 5 times a day, they're making wudu consistently. Like they're like, it doesn't work on them, because they're connected with the Creator. You obviously know, like in Islam, like we only pray to the Creator. That's it. I just like, I love that. I think that makes so much sense. What's been your overall take on Islam? We don't have to talk about it too much, but
yeah. My overall take on Islam, I'm still learning a ton, so I don't want to say too much without knowing too much. You know what I mean? I just love learning, and one thing I've been speaking about with my friends, because we got to speak about it off camera a little bit, but I was just going through stuff mentally last year. So my biggest thing was like growing in connection with God. And my first question is like, who is God? Do you know what I mean? And then I took it from there. And then for me, like I said, it's just important for me to grow my connection with God. And like, I want to be as open-minded as possible and learn as much as possible in that. And that's just the journey I'm in right now, is like figuring out everything on my own. You know what I mean?
I think that's the best thing you can do. Like, just pray to the Creator, like that He guides you to whatever the truth is. I'm not saying pray to guide me to Islam. I'm saying pray to whatever the truth is and to make it obvious at the end of the day. Because like I'm sure growing up, I'm assuming you pray to just God. You just pray to God. Like that's how I felt too. And when I realized that like in Islam, the God you're praying to is just like the God you innately pray to as a kid, like just God, not like something people tell you to pray for, like to. That's when it was just like, damn, that's awesome. That makes so much sense to me. That's what it was for me. But everyone's on their own journey. Like I can't sit here and be like, accept it, and like put in like. You can't you can't force someone to accept Islam too. Like that is strictly forbidden.
Yeah, one of the things I learned was like, I don't know if I'm gonna say this the wrong way, but intuition, is that the right word? Like you have to genuinely mean it from the bottom of your heart when you're saying like as if you believe in Allah, stuff like that. Like I don't know, because either way, like God's gonna know at the end of the day, like your true intuition, like intent. Yeah, sorry.
That's another cool thing about Islam, is it's all about intent. And who knows your intent? Only God does. And everything in Islam is about intent. Like before prayer, before you make wudu, you make intent from the heart. Yeah. And then before you pray, you make intent for which prayer you're doing. And it's like no demon or whatever is this and that is knowing what your intent is. They don't see your heart. Only God sees your heart. So I think that's cool too. So yeah, man, you're on your journey. Like I'm not saying like, do whatever you want at the end of the day. Just keep searching for truth. I think that's the best thing everyone can do, is just keep searching for truth. 100%. Yeah. For me, that truth went from following Andrew Tate, looking at him like Prophet Tate. What did he say in the new Tate Confidential? To self-help stuff. And then for me, it ended at Islam. And then it's like, you keep growing too.
What was your first like introduction into Islam? How did you originally figure it out and start learning more about it?
It was in the Mom Reacts videos.
Mm-hmm.
So there was actually a video we reacted Mom Reacts to Andrew Tate converted to Islam, and then the video blew up, and a bunch of people like started commenting like react to this and this and this. So then we started reacting to more videos, and all of those got like 1 million views long form of just like a normal white kid from Boston like learning about this religion. And then 2 years later is when I actually reverted and took my Shahada. So that's why like it was such a big deal online, is because like people saw me learning about it the whole time, which is pretty crazy. Definitely a very unique journey.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably really intense, like pretty much having everybody watch it, because I seen actually when you took your Shahada, I could see like the intent in your face. You were just like, I don't want to do this online. And I think I might have actually heard you say that on a podcast too. Like I could see how clearly like that was for you. You know what I mean? It was for you and God. Like how I spoke about growing my connection with God. Like that was your moment where you're like, this isn't for the internet. This isn't for everybody else. This is one thing I'm doing for my life and to grow my connection with God.
Exactly. And then it wasn't until like 6 months later where I like after practicing and learning where I was like, holy crap, this is like actually like the most update. Like once it clicked for me too that like the Quran was like the direct word of God. Like if there's an author on the Quran, it's God. Like I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And then I found it so fascinating because like I would do research on like people trying to dispute that, and it's like you can't, like there's not even disputing it. And just the fact that it's just the final update makes sense. So there's like the Old Testament, the New Testament, and then the Quran is simply the final testament. All these religions came from the same creator, but people, had God's perfect word and then twisted it, and that's just completely logical to me. Like people think Islam started 1400 years ago. It didn't start 1400 years ago. We believe that Islam has been here longer than humans. There was the unseen world before humans, Adam was a prophet, we believe. Like he was the first human. So, yeah, it's cool.
How did you see your life change after you took your Shahada?
I mean, in so many different ways, bro. In so many different ways. Like that first few months, a couple months, I'd say I was still like sinning and just like doing stupid shit. And then, I mean, dude, there's so many different aspects I could talk about. Like, I would have never thought I'd be religious. It doesn't even feel like I'm religious, honestly.
Yeah.
It just feels like the way you're supposed to live life, and you have an understanding of why you're here. Like, okay, this life is a test. Yes, there's temptations in this world, but if you give those up, you're rewarded with something greater in the afterlife. Do good. On the day of judgment, you're going to beg God to give you the chance to go back and just donate $1 more, like so you could climb the leaderboard. Like, I just think it makes sense. And, you're at the end of the day, you just strive to be as good of a person as possible. You understand that God never burdens your soul with more than it can handle. So whatever stress and stuff you're going through, you'll be all right at the end of the day. Just turning you into a stronger man. Just trust, like it'll be all right.
I wanted to ask, has your relationships with your family improved in any way? Because I know one thing Islam like focuses on is like heaven lies at the feet of your mother, I'm pretty sure.
Paradise lies. Yep.
Paradise lies at the feet of your mother. Yeah. So like when I first read the Quran, like that was one of the things that like woke me up, because last year when I read the Quran, it wasn't like I was avidly reading the Bible or avidly going to church or avidly praying in any sense. So that was the first time I heard that. And then I like started reflecting. I'm like, how am I treating my mother? Like, oh, I'm complaining how my life is so bad and I'm so bad mentally, whatever was going on. But then I'm like, how am I treating the people around me? You know what I mean? Am I truly like being respectful? Am I truly like being a kind and genuine person through and through? Not being kind and genuine like, yo, what's up, brother, to because I know I could get something out of you. Like that's not being genuine and that's not being kind, you know? So did you see any relationships get better because of that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like people, you know, you lose a lot of people for sure. Like you
Mm-hmm.
notice a lot of people just like hate Muslims,
Mm-hmm.
like straight up, like they just hate you because you're Muslim, and it's like
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because of like propaganda over the years just
there's a
instilled?
bunch of different factors, bro. Like they went ham with the propaganda. Like they
Mm-hmm.
went ham with the propaganda about what Islam is, about who blew up the World Trade Center, and you know all the movies. You got the guys, Allah, you know, and it's just like a lot of that. It's just a lot of that, and then um, I don't know, like I think people have a resentment to the fact that in Islam you're accountable. I think that tweaks a lot of people out. Like they do a lot of sinning and you know, they drink a lot and they're out sleeping with everyone they can get their hands on and they're just like, "Well, you know, my sins are paid for." And they don't want to take accountability. So I think personally like people that they have a little bit of resentment towards Islam for that. And then they criticize you for not being perfect. You know? It's a sin in your religion too. Like you just, you know, you just don't follow it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like talking about like other like people just get so mad about like talking about the other religions. Like it's just not even worth. It's not even worth it.
Yeah, you don't want to attract that attention towards you. Deal with everything that comes with it.
Yeah, and it's like, look, I said like, okay, people. So there's a group of people that think like, you know, their sins are paid for. I'm not lying about your religion. I'm just saying what your religion says. But then
Hmm.
people get offended by that, and I'm just like, I don't know. Have I sounded offensive at all?
Not to me, but I'm
Okay.
also like I've never was like my family's Roman Catholic, so I was never like super religious. I honestly didn't know much, so that's why like I'm going into my journey where I'm learning a ton about everything. So like for me, you're not gonna offend me. I don't know enough to be offended, you know, in the sense like
Yeah, yeah. Have I sounded hateful?
not to me, but it's also yeah. I mean I not at all. Like for me, it's hard for me to get offended or sound hateful, but you haven't come across as like aggressive in any sense of the way. Like, yeah, no, you haven't sounded hateful at all.
That's good. 'Cause that's something people say. They're like, you're hateful. And I'm like,
If
what? What am I saying? This.
if anything, I think people confuse passion for hate. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Because when I see people get passionate about a topic, like just because it's not your idea of the topic, like just because it doesn't align with your idea, I should say, they see it as hate. And
Hmm.
they give themselves an excuse to just be like, this guy's hateful, and it's just another way to lead towards more propaganda towards Muslims, you know what I mean? And shoot you down and be like, yep, he's hateful. You know what I mean? It's like their first excuse they have for you.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, no, but I wouldn't say you were hateful at all.
That's good. That's good. I like to, you know, I like to hear other people's perspectives and, you know if I'm actually being hateful. So it's good. I don't think I'm
Yeah.
hateful personally. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I'm being hateful. So we're good. What were you gonna say though?
No, I just think it's funny because a lot of people do intend to be hateful in the sense of like making videos because they know that's what like those like hooks is what grabs people online, you know what I mean, to get people angry, to get people riled up. And I've never seen that from any of your content. I think it's all come across, at least to me, I could say I could only speak for myself, it's come across as like genuine intent.
That's good.
Yeah,
No, thank you. That means a lot for sure.
of course. I do want to ask that what's been like one of the coolest collabs you've done in the content space? Because one thing for me that I see is like it's really cool just networking and meeting new people and meeting like entrepreneurs like yourself and seeing how your mind works and seeing like what kind of gets you going, your why, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like what was that first big collab where you're like, dude, this guy is sick. Like he's on another level and I need to learn as much from him as possible because I in the sense I don't know, I just see myself gravitated towards somebody like that, you know?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, I'd probably, dude. I mean, there's a few. Like, I got some good stories, man. I mean,
Let's go through the list.
um, chilling with Nate Diaz was awesome.
Yo,
That was sick. Yeah, that was definitely what, like, seeing how humble Nate Diaz and his crew are. Have you ever watched Entourage, the show?
Yeah,
Bro, the way he moves is literally like that show.
Yeah.
He made a bunch of money, brought his hometown boys up. Who did I even meet? I think I met Nate through Sneeko. So I was hanging out with Sneeko and Jake Shields one night, and then we ended up meeting up with Nate. And my boy Sakeb also was friends with Nate, and we were working on the Upgrade Your Character video that week. So like we ended up all just meeting up and going out. And Nate was just like the most humble, like hospitable guy ever. Like, because obviously wherever you go, like everything's free and you got the best table and this and that because you're with Nate Diaz. And then like we'd leave one club to go to another. And on the way there, when like Nate would be like packing the Uber with girls, he'd be looking at me and Sakeb and being like, "You motherfuckers coming? You boys better be coming." Yeah. He's like, "You want me to kick some of them ass and you come in the car?" And it's like, "Nah, like we got our Uber, like we'll meet you right there." And then like he'd wait outside for you. Like even though we just like barely hung out, we didn't even hang out that much. And it's just like, damn, bro, it makes you think about, like, this guy has so much clout and attention and fame and still so humble. Like who am I to ever get an ego with somebody else? So Nate Diaz was awesome. Being at the club with him. Yeah, dude, we were at like a sick club in Miami, and that's the thing too. Like whenever I even went out clubbing, I would only want to go with like celebrities to have, you know, I don't want to be like in a crowd with a bunch of sweaty people and shit. Like that just, that didn't interest me. But like we were on like a table, me and him, and all right, so when we went to that club, they put us in like the back at the top because they probably thought we didn't want a bunch of attention. And after like 45 minutes, I was like, wait, where's Nate been? Like I haven't seen him in like 10 minutes. So I go to like find him. I leave the group, and he's there at like the center table in the middle, just like alone, standing on the chair thing, on the couch, like strippers in front of him and shit. And I was like, "Oh, yo, Nate," or no. So I tried getting past the security guard to get to him because there's like a security guard, and I was like, "Yo, I'm with Nate," and he was like, "Yeah." He's like, how do I know you're with Nate? And I was like, Nate, like, can I come? I'm good to come up. He's like, "Yeah, let that motherfucker in." You know, that's the boy Sonny. And so he pulled me up, and like it's just me and him on the couch with like fans all over and shit, and people recording, and just like it was crazy, bro. That was an insane experience. And then most impactful collab I'd probably say is like the time that I've spent with Sneeko, for sure. Seeing the way we have a very like similar creative brain, so you know when we're together, like we're talking a lot about filmmaking and bouncing ideas off of each other, and just like analyzing what's working and stuff. So I've definitely learned a lot from him, and he gave me a lot of inspiration to start up my own creative work, for sure.
Really?
100%, yeah.
Damn, that's a good friend to have, honestly.
Yeah, and he's so creative, man. Like the way his brain works is so fascinating. Like he's just always working.
Yeah.
He's always working. Like it's always something new with him. Always content in mind too. So
yeah, I've got to see his journey unfold a little bit, and he has a cool story too, and I honestly love where he's at right now. Like he's just developed so much as a human being over the years. Because that's one thing, like people don't understand unless you're doing it, you know what I mean? Unless you're actually behind the camera, like especially at a young age, it affects the way you think, move. It affects everything in your life, you know what I mean? And I can't imagine having all eyes on you and then still being able to like develop properly at a young age, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's fascinating. Like the guy you can't walk half a block without getting recognized with him. So he has a funny life. He's a funny life, yeah.
Yeah. Because, what was that? The first time I actually saw something about him was the Fresh and Fit podcast. And I only bring that up because I had my buddies on here last week because my birthday was Monday. And we were just all talking on here. And one of my friends was like flaming the Fresh and Fit, just like going off on like red pill, blue pill. This is all BS, you know what I mean? So that's how I first got introduced.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, the red pill for me was always seeking truth. You know, like people say, do you follow the red pill? And it's like, there's no standard definition for red pill. You know, some people say sleep with 50 women. Some say sleep with a few. Some say sleep with none. Like, there's no what's the red pill, you know? So for me, it was always just seeking truth, and I came to the conclusion of just following Islam. That was my seeking truth journey personally, and I'm still constantly going. I'm still moving forward, and you know, there's like so much to even learn, so much wisdom in the Quran that you can take away and apply to your own life. You don't just become like some hive mind person where you're just like haram, 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 and crying about everything. Like God says in the Quran, I do not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. It's like being able to look introspectively and like dig deep, find aspects of yourself that you need to work on, make those tweaks. Change the vibration that you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people look at God like this great, like, so the thing with I've noticed about Islam too is like people have such different interpretations of God in a way. Like some look at it as just like fear, like if I mess up once I'm going to hell, and some people look at it like super loving. And to me it's just like that mix of in between, you know, of like, yes, this is like the creator of the entire universe, like, yeah, you should fear that somewhat, like you're going to be judged on Judgment Day, but don't tweak about every little thing so OD. Like God is also the most merciful.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty funny.
That's funny. Just give me 1 second. I want to grab you some more water. Make sure. I have
more right here.
Yeah. Sorry about that, though.
No, you're good.
Let me refill too. I get parched on these. I'm surprised I haven't had to pee. There's like so many. I have to cut out every time I'm on a podcast because I usually bring like a gallon of water on here, and then like
You gotta pee 5 times?
yeah, and I'm
That's
just
funny.
like, oh, and then there's like, I also feel very rude cutting people off, so I'm like, I'm like waiting till the last very moment where I'm about to explode, or I'm like, all right, sorry, give me a second, I need to go pee.
That's hilarious.
But I just wanted to ask you, where do you see your future going? Like, I know you're building your business, you want to be focused on that. You said you're also building your content. Like, where do you want to lead? What's the 10, 15-year plan? Because you said 8-figure exits earlier, but just in life, like, where do you see yourself in 10, 15 years?
I'm pretty doomsday, man. Like, as much as I'm writing a movie as well, and I would love to get this movie done and fund it myself. Like that's a goal of mine, is, to actually make this movie. Like someone came to me that's actually like pretty big in the film space, and they were interested in like turning the upgrade your character video, like that NFT story, into an actual movie. I think it'd be a banger movie. Like it's funny, I had to do a lot of like introspection and like dive really deep into my psyche and old text messages to just like pull up a lot of that NFT stuff and relive it again, because I just forgot so much of it. Like it happened so fast, and it was just so many text messages and stuff. Like I don't know, man. Life moves like that. But I would love to make a movie. I'm really passionate about filmmaking. That's definitely a major goal of mine. And then I don't know, man, like just get properties in a few different spots, get some in Europe, maybe one in South America, be ready for doomsday if it comes down to it, like the Antichrist is coming eventually. Like we, Christian, Catholic, Muslim, like we all agree upon that. And I'm trying to be chilling by then, hopefully. I don't know. Like I feel like we don't have that much time to make a lot of money personally. I think there's like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
To like really make a bag, and then it's, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be the same. If you look at like 100-year cycles, what was it? The Spanish flu in 1919, COVID in 2020, Roaring 20s. The 20s have been pretty good so far. Great Depression came in the 30s, 2030s. I don't know, bro.
We saw the recession in 2008 affect everybody. Like,
yeah, but we still haven't like fully. The dollar's not real. Like a Ponzi scheme can only last for so long. Every single one of them eventually has to collapse. So what we keep doing is just printing more money to solve the problem, and we're just kicking the can down the road, So inevitably shit has to come down, like the way it's going to, and the people that run the world, and like everyone it's just weird, bro. It's in a really weird spot right now. And I'm just trying to really like run up my bag, and inshallah I can make a movie.
Inshallah, brother.
Hopefully I can make a movie and, pursue my true dreams. But if not, it's just going to be making sure my whole family's like really tight and just upgrading my character at the end of the day, making enough to where I can learn. Maybe I want to learn the guitar, or maybe I want to, just try a bunch of new stuff. There's a bunch of badges I haven't unlocked. There's a bunch of XP bars I gotta gain. Like there's a bunch of stuff to do, you know?
Yeah, and you got plenty of time to do it. Still very young. But what's your most favorite place to go to? Because you talked about like buying a house in Europe, so I imagine you've traveled a little bit. You talked about earlier you want to travel a ton more. I get that because like I had this experience when I graduated high school. My mom bought me. I was a part of this club where we volunteered, and I got offered to go to Peru and build the school over there.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, every time somebody talked to me about traveling, I was like, heck no, I don't want to go nowhere. Like, I want to stay at home, like the world, like who cares? And then I went to Peru, and like you said, when you went to the Mecca, is that?
Mecca, yeah.
Yeah, Mecca. The world is huge, and it's also beautiful. So I'm like, dude, I need to travel. And that was like my main motivation. I was like, listen, I don't need anything else in life. You know what I mean? As long as I have a little bed I could sleep on, I just want to travel and meet as many people as possible. But going back to it, what's your most favorite place to travel? And then what's the first place you're going to, like your dream destination that you have yet to go to?
I don't really have a dream destination yet to go to. But my favorite place is probably be Italy. Yeah. Like it was just, you just really feel at home. Or Medina was really cool too.
Where's Medina?
It's like a hour and a half, 2 hour train ride from Mecca. So that's where the Prophet spent most of his life. Such a different energy there, man. Like just so peaceful. You know, you're not stressed about the simulation. So the dunya is like what we're in right now. Like I believe we're spiritual beings living a human existence, right? We agree upon that. Like we're more than just this flesh and what we're seeing. Like we have souls. And just not being in Medina, like you're so not wrapped up with this world. You know, you're really just at peace, and you can just pray and eat your food and walk around and leave your phone back at home, and it's safe. That was really nice. I just got back from Bosnia too. That was really cool too, because that was all white Muslims.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, like seeing people that, you know, like they look more like you and stuff. That was definitely cool, because like I'm not Arab at the end of the day. Like I don't speak Arabic. Like I'm not trying to be Arab. You know, I'm still like a white guy.
Yeah.
So that was cool seeing Bosnia, but I don't know. I have a lot of places to travel to still, for sure. Italy, I'd say, is like definitely at the top though.
Where would you recommend? What's the place to go to in Italy?
Sicily was surreal. Like driving through the mountains where my family used to live and going to that old town and buying a $2 sandwich and, you know, going on boats, and that was crazy.
Yeah.
Seeing the history of where you grew up. I mean, I'm biased with that, but so beautiful.
Yeah, no, I need to go to Italy. Sorry about that.
Yeah, the food's really good too.
I was going to say, how's the pizza over there? I'm a big pizza guy. I follow Dave Portnoy's One Bite. I try all the stuff he tries.
People always they're like, the food in Italy, it's good, but like there's good food here too. Like if you get good food here too, and then you go somewhere else and you eat good food, like it's good food everywhere. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, if you're eating like crappy McDonald's and Pizza Hut all day and then you go to Italy on pizza, yeah, it's going to be like, oh, but it was good.
I wanted to ask too, when you brought up Medina, what's that feel like? Because living in the New York area, people are aggressive around here. That's the one thing. If anybody says, oh, you're from New York, it's like, what's up, bro? Like the way they talk to you is a whole different tone of voice. So like, I kind of want you to go deeper. What's that feeling like going from New York and then traveling to Medina where it's so peaceful?
It's like the air is different. So when I say the air and the energy is literally different, like your life is based around like spirituality when you're there. The most important thing is like, when's the next prayer and making it on time. Like, because it was Ramadan too, you'd end up like, your sleep schedule was insane. It's the most insane 4 weeks of sleep schedule I've ever had in my life, especially when I was there, because it's like, you pray your night prayer, and then you usually go and do some activities, and like you putz around for a while. You don't just go to sleep at 8 o'clock. And And then usually, no, we would stay up until Fajr, which is the morning prayer, because you have to eat right before.
Yeah.
And then you would sleep after morning prayer for like an hour, like 2-3 hours, and then get back to it for your next day. Like there was a week where I slept on 2 hours a night and I was fine. Like I couldn't even believe it. Like I would wake up refreshed after like 2-3 hours and just like go about my whole day walking 10-15 miles while fasting the whole day out and about in the hot sun, and you're good. So really it taught you how much your mind plays an effect on things too. Just like if when you just set a rule with yourself and you just stick to it, it just becomes what it is. It just is what it is. Like with Ramadan, like it's as simple as you don't eat from morning to night. Like you don't think about eating or drinking. There's no the question of should I break my fast and this and that. So you just go about your day not thinking about it. It's similar to like once I finally just like gave up women and like the idea of sleeping around with women, it's like it just clears a portion of your brain for the rest to run smoother. So yeah, like I don't know, man. I feel like I'm going in so many different places right now, but
The word I think of like that popped, it's almost like a word bubble popped up into my head while you're speaking it. It's like enlightenment. I
yeah.
don't know if that like how that sits with you, but that's just what I was thinking in my head when you were saying all
Yeah,
that.
dude, another thing, like, all right, so you can actually, what I like about Islam too is you can actually go to the exact spots where stuff happened. Like, you can see where the Prophet is buried and where the Quran was revealed to him. It's on, like, this massive mountain. And so we climbed up it one night after the whole day of fasting and stuff. And it's like an hour-long hike, and you got straight 80-year-old grandmas doing it.
Wow.
Like, a group of them climbing up this big mountain. Like I've never seen anything like that in my life. Like the determination and strength people get while they're there is different too. Like you push yourself. Even doing like Umrah, all right, you walk around the Kaaba 7 times and then you walk miles like back and forth doing something else. Like it's a workout, like doing this stuff. It's not easy. Even for me, it's not easy. Like you're gassed afterwards. So, yeah, there's a lot to recap from there for sure.
Was this your first Ramadan? You said
This is my first one, yeah.
wow. So it was your first time fasting the whole month. How'd that feel? Like I know you said it was pretty easy, but like how'd your stomach feel genuinely? Like
Yeah, it wasn't that bad to be
nothing?
honest with you.
Yeah.
Like yeah, towards like the last couple hours, like you feel a bit more drained and like you're ready to eat, but it's funny, like all that suffering from the entire day goes away like that once you take a sip of water and eat some food, you know? So it's also a reminder of like, you know, the dunya, the simulation to the afterlife as well. Like, you know, there's a lot of suffering and life is hard and shit. And then it's like, boom, either heaven or hell. Like all that, if you were good, all that suffering and everything, it's gone. Now you're in bliss for eternity. And if you were a shit person, then, you know, that stinks. But, yeah. It's crazy. Trying to think of like what else even happened while I was there to mention, but grandmas, and yeah. That's all I can really think about right now, to be honest.
Just the grandma's hiking, because it's a different type of strength. Like it's that spiritual strength you see given to others, you know. Like it's not something that people expect all the time, because like I don't know, like when I grew up around church, it's like I saw people break down in tears and like cry and like, oh, there's a saying we had. It's just funny, man. Like all the things I've seen in church, and then you explaining that. Like I have two completely different images in my head right now.
You know what I really like about Islam is that it's like the universal religion too. So I've gone to Spain to mosques. I've gone to Portugal to mosques. I've been to Saudi Arabia and mosques. I don't speak the same language as any of those people, but you pray the same way. So it's like I can be next to a Chinese guy, an African guy, an Arab guy, Portuguese guy, like everyone, and none of us could communicate with each other, but we could all pray like literally the same exact words and greet each other the same way. And I think that's something that's really cool. I personally look at it like the universal phone case. You know, it's like the religion that's literally that fits everyone. And I think that like if everyone actually like practiced it, like from what I've seen, I think society would be perfect. From just how everyone from all around the world, no matter what country you're from, is in one place, and it's just your brothers in faith.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I will say one thing about that. Like the unity I saw within the mosque is insane. It's like you said, your brothers in faith. It feels like a brotherhood the second you step in, honestly. And one thing is it's genuine. It doesn't feel fake in the sense. Maybe towards somebody else it might. I could only speak on my experience, you know what I mean? But I never got that fake stuff, and it's just so weird because being an American and being a Dominican as well, like you just hear all the propaganda growing up, and you hear all these different things. So it was a shell shock, honestly, to me at first. It's not what I expected at all, which was pretty cool to say.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like I think if Americans like embraced and practiced Islam, society would be amazing. Because all right, like people stop drinking, people stop gambling, people start, praying multiple times a day and connecting with God, and women dress more modestly. Like it's just all, I don't know. To me, it's all good things. Like it's another thing that was interesting was seeing the women fully covered up in Saudi too. That was definitely interesting to see. Yeah.
Because do they wear the hijabs and then also like the
they're
face
full
cover?
niqab. Like in Saudi,
Niqab.
like for the most part, it was like full girls like fully covered up. I'd say like less than 10% were hijab, and then once in a while, like if tourists were there, like it would just be normal looking women.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to wear a niqab. It's just like the social norm there.
Wow.
For sure. But that was cool too. Like everyone's there locked in for prayer. Like they don't want guys looking at their butts and their face and flirty eyes and stuff. And as a guy, you don't want to be tempted by that
Lower
stuff
your
as well.
gaze, man. Lower your gaze.
I do lower my gaze, dude. The video went viral of this, and everyone's like, he can't control himself, and I'm like, I'm not saying I can't control himself, but it's like, if there's butts, like when you pray and like you go down and their butts are in the air, and it's like, it's just like, no, bro, stuff.
Yeah, stuff it alone, brother. You can't do it.
No, you don't look like I don't even look at them. You don't look at them. It's funny because the people commenting about like lower your gaze, like they all watch porn. Like
yeah,
I haven't watched porn and I don't even know how long. That's been once like practicing Islam, that was actually easy to kick, to be quite honest. Like before that, I would kind of like go back and forth with it, but like once I like really started practicing, like that was an easy one.
Yeah.
Because that just feels so disgusting. Like, I couldn't even, with how long it's been since I've watched that stuff, I couldn't even bring myself to do it again. Like,
wow.
Just thinking about, dude, like, what must happen in a woman's life to do that? Like, that's vile. Like I said, like, I feel like there's an unseen world. And I feel like, the unseen world, like, gets a kick out of you doing such a disgusting act as well. It's also owned by like weird people that like want to suck your energy too. So
I think it's owned by devils. Like at least what I've seen, like it's absolutely like I could say this. It's weird my friends know this, but they know I haven't watched porn in so long just because I don't know. I kind of got thrown off by it. Like my friends know the type of person I am. Like even this last year, like I haven't talked to any girls whatsoever. Like not even like, oh, let's go on a date, let's kiss, whatever, just because like I know what I want in my life. Like I want a wife, I want a happy marriage, you know what I mean? And how is that, like how am I going to get there? Am I going to get there by liking all these girls stuff on Instagram, like adding all these girls, doing all this stuff that I know like won't truly make you happy in the end of the day? Or am I going to focus on what's important, focus on my family that I do have now, focus on growing the love and relationships I have around me, and then try to build that to when I do find my wife, you know what I mean, I have a good foundation to build off of instead of a foundation where I'm doing all these like degenerate stuff. I don't know.
100%. There's a verse in the Quran, good men are for good women, wicked men are for wicked women. So it's like a lot of people that are complaining about the partners that are around them and in their circle, everyone's a hoe and men cheat. Like, look at yourself. You're just simply attracting whoever's on your wavelength at the end of the day. So a lot of people need to look in the mirror and lock in.
That's actually really interesting you said that. Like, you're attracting everybody on the same wavelength as you. That's one thing I noticed with myself. Like, at one point I was blaming, like, oh, why am I attracting this type of person, whether it be a relationship or whether it be a friendship. And then, like, it all comes down to, like, that man in the mirror, like, internally. Like, I don't know. I just, like I said earlier, I had a point in my life where I was just going through a mental rut, and I had to do a lot of self-analyzation and realize, like, it really is the man in the mirror. It comes up to what I was doing day in and day out, and I had to change a lot of the habits I had, which were bad habits, obviously, but...
No, 100%. Self-introspection, making changes to your daily actions. Key.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, I don't know if I asked it earlier, sorry, my head's a little shot, but what made you start the reaction channel with your mom?
I just wanted to go viral, so, you know, I've gotten really good at, like, understanding the fundamentals of how to get views. So when I wanted to go into YouTube, first I studied, like, other people's packaging and what was trending. And so I noticed Andrew Tate was the most trending thing at the time. And then I saw the Cuff Boys. Are you familiar with who they are?
No.
They used to do, this kid used to do reaction videos to music with his mom. And it would get billions of views. It would do, like, mom reacts to XXXTentacion and NBA, I don't know. All that shit.
Yeah.
So I just took, like, the viral concept that he did of mom reacts and paired that together with, like, the most viral person in the world at the time. Nobody else did it. So I just picked up on two different things, pieced it together. It wasn't like I was passionate about, like, making videos with my mom at first. Like, you know, you never know how it's going to go when you turn the camera on with your mom. But we posted that first video. It got like 300,000 views, and then we just kept making more videos, you know. Like, went on to Tristan Tate, we went on to Andrew Tate Part 2, to Sneeko, and then expanded past just like red pill stuff, reacting to more. So
this is a question I like to ask a majority of my guests. Was there ever a point that you felt like you wanted to give up?
Like on success?
On your entrepreneurship journey, because it's been a long journey, even though it's been a quick one, like you said, because like it's almost like you flashed, you know, you sped run it in a sense, being 18, making all this money, and then finding what works for you on YouTube. Like, was there ever a point where you're like, all right, this is too hard, like I want to give up, like F this, I'm just gonna stay in school, have a regular job?
Fuck no. Not just like stay in school and do like the normal route. Like, absolutely not. Like, if I was to quit, I would just like move to the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wouldn't do the normal route and get a job. Like, absolutely not. Yeah, no, that hasn't even been a thought. Like, going back to the normal system. It's just like I gotta figure it out, really, you know. You know, sometimes you get sick of content or this or that, or, you know, certain aspects of business, but overall in itself, like, I wake up when I want. I have freedom. Like, I live in a beautiful apartment. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
I'm blessed, bro, you know, to give that all, not just like the material stuff, but really the freedom. I think that's what people really sleep on with making your own money, is the fact that you just are able to choose with what you do with every hour of your day. And that's where life really becomes a video game, where you build your own schedule. Someone else doesn't make it for you. You figure out, okay, these 3 hours I'm going to lock in on content. This, I got to check in on business. This, I got to do this. Like, no one's telling you what to do when you're a CEO. You're just analyzing the board and making moves and going forward.
Yeah. So, and it could definitely be intimidating for sure.
Oh, yeah, bro. It's definitely stressful. Like, especially I have people that rely on me and for like their
their livelihood.
Like it's a lot of stress. It's definitely stressful, but alhamdulillah, you know, life is good and it all works out. So I don't stress too much. Like, I don't want to get gray hairs, and I already got some wrinkles here. Like, I'm not trying to make it too OD.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because I told you earlier, like, I was working at a part-time job prior to this, and then I just recently stopped to put all my time into this, and I've had to transition. It was intimidating, but it was also really cool. I'm still making the transition right now, you know what I mean? This is very recent, but one thing that you said that like caught my mind is like I wake up at whatever time I want. You know what I mean? Like my dad has knee surgery, so when he first got the surgery, he saw me waking up at like noon. But then he also understands it because he sees the work I'm putting in, and like he's able to see like, all right, he's up till 4 a.m. editing all his videos. He's up till 4 a.m. like working on his business. Like it doesn't matter what time you wake up; it matters more what you do with the hours when you're up. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like sometimes I just hit a creative spurt at night. Who
Mm-hmm.
knows? When I go back, maybe I'll just go to sleep and read a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
or I'll end up finishing a video I'm working on or doing some writing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. Um, yeah, sometimes like I'll just start writing and just go ham until 4:30 in the morning. Because it's just like once you're in flow state and you're cooking, like one of the things you learn as an entrepreneur is some days you're just not gonna cook.
Yeah.
Some days you're just not gonna cook. You're gonna try. You're gonna be sitting at your desk looking at your computer, and you're gonna fuck around with your phone and do this and that. And some days you're just gonna be on it and just get like days worth of work done in 6 hours. You know.
Yeah.
And the way it all really works itself out is you just have to keep showing up every day and just putting time into it.
Yeah. Definitely. So I wanted to cut it there. I just wanted to say, man, thank you for all your time, brother. It's been honestly a great conversation. I loved hearing your story and just love diving deep on certain topics about your life. I definitely like one cool thing I want to say is like, man, you're genuine. Like you asked, like, are you coming off like, what was the question? You asked?
Hateful.
Hateful? No, man. For anybody watching out there, the audience, like, this is one genuine guy, like, and it's not coming from a top influencer. It's coming from somebody who's at the bottom, who's working every day, who I meet genuine people day in and day out, real life people. Like you're a real life person, you know what I mean? You're not hateful in any sense of the word. Like you're religious, you stay true to your religion, and the only sense I got is like love. You know what I mean? Like if anything, you have more love in your heart right now than ever. I don't know. That's the feeling I get, at least sitting here speaking to you. So I just want to thank you for your time, man. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Nah, thank you, bro. That means a lot. You know, that definitely does mean a lot. And you got a great setup here. Like, inshallah, great things are gonna come out of this studio. So you did a great job interviewing too. I know you're new with the podcast stuff.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's so funny you say that because I always tell everybody like I think I do such a bad job. But I just like
No, you did a good job. Like there'd be points where like you know me and you weren't be talking as much, and then you keep the conversation going because like my brain gets a bit fried too. You know.
yeah.
So I don't always know what to say. I'm a human as well. Like,
No, I get that, and that's why like honestly sometimes I don't even mind the quiet seconds because it gives me a second to think too.
of course, yeah.
Like you said, we're all human, and also it's our first time meeting, so I understand that like barrier people have sometimes, and then I've also sat here with people who've never recorded any type of content, and like to be able to I honestly want to thank them because to be able to break their barrier down is really hard. Like you did a really good job opening up, and I appreciate that so much because there was a lot of stuff you could have kept in, a lot of stuff you couldn't didn't have to talk about, but you did. So I truly appreciate that.
No, thank you. Basically, everything I talked about on this podcast, I went through some kind of mental battle of getting to the point of talking about it, which is pretty funny. Like religion, the NFT stuff too. Like, for a little bit, I was like so iffy about talking about it, just because I know how people automatically think you're just like some scammer douche for being in that space or selling NFTs. When it's like I had the best of intentions with that at the end of the day.
I'm really happy I got the chance to hear that side of things then, because maybe if you weren't ready to talk about it, like it would have been different. But one thing I also wanted to say is like, thank you for saying I did a good job, because one thing I could relate to you with is like, I feel like right now I'm going through that imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? Like, dude, a year ago I was making $18 an hour working out of a sausage truck, you know what I mean? And now I'm a CEO of a company in a sense, you know what I mean? I got the studio I'm running full time, and it's just like, I have my own battles I fight in, but
No, I respect a lot that like you don't try to be something you're not. Like I think it's cool that like you're open about being earlier on in your journey, and you're not just trying to be like this super successful fake guy. Like the fact that you're just being real about it is so much better to begin with. You know, like you saying I was working at, you know, I was making $18 an hour a year ago, and now like I'm getting people on podcasts and running this up. I respect that a lot personally.
Thank
And I
you,
think
brother.
a lot of viewers feel that. Like I feel like a lot of influencers, they kind of forget that their audience is people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's each number is like a pair of eyeballs and a consciousness.
Yeah.
It's not just, you know, an algorithm. So when,
Yeah.
you know, your numbers watch you, they feel a sense of authenticity.
Thank you. Because one thing that's funny you say that, because my first podcast was actually in a suit. Like my first 3 were in a suit because the name of the podcast was Notes of Success. And it was because I mainly wanted to interview entrepreneurs. But then I took the suit off because I'm like, I don't want to give that sense off where I'm like coming at this higher power. I'm coming above you. Like, because on a day-to-day process, like if you ask anybody who like pretty much anybody runs into me at the gym or like thinks they might know something of me, they probably think I'm a bum. Like I told you, same 12 shirts. I wear sweatpants. Like I'm very calm, humble, you know what I mean? So I just like, I want to be on camera just how I am in real life, because you're probably not going to run into me in a suit. Even though I do love suits, you know what I mean? So if you got a wedding out there, invite me, I'm going to wear a suit. But like on the day-to-day, like I'm just a human being like anybody else. And one reason I started this was to be able to like show my friends like it's possible to go after your dreams, and just like you don't need to be the best, you know what I mean? You just need to try and keep going at it. Because like I said, I still think I'm terrible to this day, you know what I mean? But it's all about improving.
As long as you keep making podcasts, like it's inevitably going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
Especially you're close to New York City, so you know you get one big. The thing with doing a podcast, like having this setup,
Mm-hmm.
when you get someone big on, naturally anyone else that you reach out to that's like under their influence will come on.
Yeah.
So it's like what you need to do is just keep pushing like that barrier of like the biggest guest you got on, and then
Yeah.
it's going to be easier to get everyone else that's in between them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for me, I want to say like that was probably the hardest thing in the beginning, putting myself out there to reach out for guests, because like I'm like, oh my, who the heck wants to come on and talk to me? Like, what the heck do I have to offer? But then I'm just like, who cares, man? You only live one life. Like,
It's not
you
that
know what
deep.
I mean? It's
Dude,
not.
People think that like other people are like studying their life all the time,
Mhm.
when it's like, to me, to someone watching my content, I'm just another one of hundreds of people that they follow.
Mhm.
Like, we're not that important at the end of the day. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's not that fucking deep, dude.
Yeah, you
So-
just put your head down and worked hard.
It's like
and
if you
that's something
DM'd me
could
and
respect.
let's say you DM'd me or emailed, would you email me, right?
I emailed you, yeah.
And then I didn't respond. Then it's like, what? Does the world end?
No, not
Fuck,
at all.
like, you'd be all right, man.
Yeah, but I shot my shot, and here you are, brother. And I'm glad you came. Like I said, I'm so happy you came through. It was an awesome conversation.
Definitely, bro. You had Hadi on too, right?
Yeah, I had a hottie on.
I saw that. I think I saw that after I already texted you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was with him in Mecca.
yeah, I actually saw that. It was pretty. How was that journey going with all the other content creators? You know, let's keep it going. I actually need to pee. That's why I wanted to end it. Let me pee real quick. I'll be right back.
All right,
Give me
sounds
one
good.
sec.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, the Hattie interview, it was honestly really cool to talk to Hattie. I actually went to college with his cousin, so I knew his cousin at the time. Like, when Hattie got started, it was him and his family. Like, all the cousins were out there lifting, which was sick, because that was the first time I got introduced into, like, the gym and, like, real just, like, I hate that I'm going to say this, but meatheads, you know what I mean? But I love it. Like, anybody who knows me now, I posted this the other day on Instagram, and I was talking to my boys about it because it's so funny to me. Like, when I post my clips on my regular private Instagram and stuff, I get like, if it's on my story, I get like 150 views, 200 views. I have, I think, 1,100 followers on my private Instagram. I posted a gym transformation pic of me shirtless, and like now I'm not even to be that guy, but I'm shredded up now, and dude, I think it was like 750 people. I'm like, dude, I didn't even know 700 people were like active still on my Instagram. It's insane to me that this is what got you guys to open up the profile account. You know what I mean? So like being able to sit down, talk to Hattie, like see like one thing I saw with him, like one thing I see with a lot of my guests, it's just like real genuine people. And that's one thing I love about podcasts. And that's one thing that keeps me going, just having these conversations, because like last year, I'll tell you this is like I was going through a mental battle because like I thought I was worthless, you know what I mean? And I was just going through battles in my head thinking nobody else is going through them in the world. And then just like being able to sit down with other men who are like entrepreneurs, want to be successful, striving for more. It's like you see it. We all battle a lot of similar stuff. The one thing is, just like I find with men, we're afraid sometimes we're afraid to talk to about it, and other times like how can you? If you've never talked about it in your life, like why would you out of nowhere? You know what I mean? In a sense, like it's difficult because like my sister, like whenever she was sad or whatever, she could come to me, come to my brother, come to anybody and feel free to talk, you know what I mean? And that's something me and my sister, we didn't have the best relationship growing up just because of how I am, like just being kids, you know what I mean? But as you grow up, you have you grow your relationship with your siblings. And one thing I've been trying to like always tell my sister is like, I got your back. Like nobody else in this world is going to have your back like family. You know what I mean? Like I root for my siblings more than anybody in the world. Anything they want to do in life, I believe in them tenfold because I grew up with them. I know the type of people they are, whether they're doing bad in life right now or not. Like I know where they can be if they apply themselves. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I've been trying to like do in my own life is just talk about things more, talk about the ups and downs, talk about the love, and even sometimes the hate, because it's just like it's my true self and it's my honesty. Like that's one thing I'm trying to like develop within my own personality day in and day out is like just be true to myself. Like I don't want to live a life anymore where I'm like hiding who I am, or like, because there's a lot of times where I feel watered down, even on the podcast, you know what I mean? And it's just like
you're not being your true self.
Yeah, and in that sense is like, on the podcast sense, it's just like, if you ever see me out and talking, like if we go out of here and we go hang out, I might be a little bit more louder, energetic, but just like comfortability and time and practice behind the camera, and like, because there's a lot of times, even now, I find myself where I think about, like, should I say this? Should I say that? But then I think about, like, dude, I'm a CEO of my company. Like, who if I say something, it's not like I'm going to lose my job. You know what I mean?
That's a funny one, too. Like, the first time I said some real controversial shit online, and people would comment, like, we got to get him kicked out of school. Someone find the dean, or get him fired. And I was like, I'm the dean. You know what I mean? Cause I said like the N word online. It got like 30 million views.
Holy. Yeah, white boy from Boston saying that would do it.
Nothing happened though. It's just like, I'm the dean. I retired saying it since I became Muslim. Alhamdulillah.
Good man. Good man. No, that's so funny. Yeah, but that's just what I meant by being watered down. Like, you know, Hattie, great guy. I honestly don't think he likes me much. I think it was, I tell my buddies this, I'm not afraid to admit it, but it was, I think it was all good, and we were having great conversation, and then, I went to go hand him a book in my room, and at the time, I had a Donald Trump hat on my desk that somebody gave me, and I think he saw that, and it threw him off completely, because, like, prior to that, it was all good, and then, after the end, I just never really heard from him. Like, I texted him a few times. It was really hard for him to reach out. And I didn't want to press it too much. And I didn't find it a really big deal because it's like I know who I am through and through. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think it's that deep.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, I think you're probably just overthinking.
Yeah, that's also another thing. Like, because
like, bro,
I'm also getting started with this. That happens to me too.
Like, I just get a lot of text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, shit, that's another thing. Like, the guy's super busy, just like you are.
And it's like,
you know
at the end of the day, he came on your pod and did it.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I appreciate him so. And honestly, one of the coolest things is like, he's my most viewed episode now. I literally texted my buddies this morning because it's like, it's so amazing that like, I released the episode February 14th, and for 5 weeks until March 27th, it had 153 views. After March 27th, it just kicked up. It's about to hit 2K views, and like, one thing that I'm like really happy about is that my friends have really helped me with the idea, like 100 people is a lot to me. Like when I get 100 views on my video, it is a lot. I'm not like, oh, this tanked or whatever. Like I am so ecstatic that 100 people are taking the time out of the day to listen to me. You know what I mean? So like 2,000 to me, bro, like you see it in my face. Like I am so freaking happy to reach 2,000. I thank Hattie. Like that's not me, you know what I mean? It's because he came on, because I understand like with podcasts, at least in the beginning, it's not going to get a ton of views because of me. Nobody knows me. You know
of course.
I mean? It's going to get,
guess,
it's about the guest. So I like, it's all love with Hattie, and he's a busy guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're definitely just tweaking.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
It's easy to tweak with people, but at the end of the day, everyone's in their own little world and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Hattie also, he's just a funny guy. Like, he's very like, He's funny to travel with in Mecca. Like he's funny because he's hilarious, bro. Like seeing his patience getting tested is so funny. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know if he has like I don't think he has anger issues, but like he's just a funny guy, man. Just seeing
Yeah.
him, like the faces he'd be making at people and stuff. Like me and Hadi actually one day we did me and him a few times we went off together because like we were in a pretty big group of people and in Mecca like to really like feel it you kind of just got to get lost in your own little world and just like split up. You can't be with 10 different people doing something at once and really feel it to its full extent. So me and him I forget what it's called when you walk around the Kaaba, but we went like after fasting and stuff all day. I think we were up for 24 hours at this point. We went back like to the Kaaba and walked around again, and like me and him like pushed to the front to touch it, and that's where it gets a bit crazy. It's like right around the Kaaba, like people are wild, like wild, and like yeah, that's where people are. They're not like nobody's like fighting and like really beefing, but it's just so many people in one spot. It's kind of just like a mosh pit in a sense, where it's like the wave just like moves your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like me and him, pushing to get to the front there. That was
And he's a unit because where I met him was actually at the gym, at my gym. I saw him. I'm like, dude, I need to ask. It actually took me like 2 or 3 times running into him before I even went up to him and asked him, because I'm like, why would this guy want to? You overthink so much. Like that's why the brain is so powerful, and like sometimes I like to just shut it off and do stuff, because I'm like, if I listen to my brain 100% of the time, I'd probably be screwed. I'd be scared of everything and I'd never try anything new.
yeah, no, 100%. Especially with making content, like it's not that deep.
Yeah, not at all. But what's that experience like going with such a big group of people? How many people did you travel over there with, actually?
I don't even know, dude. At least like a dozen.
Wow.
It's like a dozen of us. Yeah, Akiway, Sneeko, Fazy, this guy Moose, a few other people too. Like it was a lot of us.
Yeah. Because that's actually how I found your Instagram, because I used to follow your YouTube and stuff, and then I think I saw the Akiway post that, because that's what I've been doing, is just like following more influencers around New Jersey, New York area, and then trying to get their contact information to see if I could land a podcast. So I saw the picture of all you guys and I followed all you guys, and then I just, like I said, I just started sending emails and just started trying.
Where'd you find my email and my YouTube?
Yeah. So if you open up the YouTube channel at the very bottom where it says like when you created it, if you verify that you're not a bot, you're able to get the email.
Yep.
So I have one of my friends. He's 18 years old. His name's George Peyrutin. He actually I got introduced because his uncle's a lawyer and he got invited onto one of these shows, and his uncle's like, my nephew actually started a podcast, and I'm like, no way. So he introduced me to this kid. He brought him into the studio and stuff. And George is, honestly, I got to give George like all the thanks in the world. He's one of the kids that pushed me the most. And it's crazy I'm saying that, because at the time I think he was 16 or 17. He's like, what the are you doing? You got this studio. I don't see you at one part. What are you doing, bro? Like, he's just like, wake up. And I'm like, bro, here I got this freaking. At the time, I was looking at him like this little kid, but I'll tell you this: he's not a kid. He's a man. He's a dog. Like, he's a hustler. Like, I see in him. When you told me stories about you being 18, I just see George. Like, you and George would have been best friends. You know what I mean? He's just a grinder, and I love that about him. And like, age is just a number, honestly, because kid works harder than most of my friends that I know. You know what I mean? But he was one of the reasons that like he would just check up on me and be like, dude, you started, you posted, and he put me on a lot of game on just how to reach out to people. He's just like, if you can't find this, find the Snapchat, message them through Snapchat, message them through Facebook, message them through LinkedIn. Like, he's just put me on so much game through podcasting. Like, he is a networking king, and he's not afraid to put himself out there, and like, it's helped me a ton, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because I would have never thought, like I said, I thought of him as a kid when I first met him, but that's my boy now, you know what I mean? That's a man. Like,
is he looking for work?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Have him shoot me a DM.
I got you.
Yeah, because that's funny. Like, I just had to train one of my team members on that lately about when like reaching out to brands, for example, of getting more brand deals for my creators,
Mm-hmm.
you don't just DM the Instagram. You DM the Instagram, you look through the following, you find the founder, you go to the email, you go to the TikTok Shop Partner Center and email that email. Like you go
Mm-hmm.
to every mechanism possible when networking with someone, and then you follow up too. After a
Yeah.
week, send a follow up too, because sometimes like it's all a numbers game at the end of the day. Like
Mm-hmm.
compared to your conversions get better if you message them on more platforms than just one,
Mm-hmm.
and then your conversions get better if you follow up with everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe, and then like over time as you get more momentum, like let's say you DM'd me and we had mutual followers, then
Mm-hmm.
it's even easier to do it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a mix of outreach and different mechanisms, momentum, and just like building. The more you build up your brand, like the more big people that you get on, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be so much easier too, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, bro,
I mean,
this setup is crazy. Like,
thank you, brother. It's just so crazy because, like, I try to explain it to people like this. Anybody who's ever owned a pool in their life, they know the feeling. Like, when it's yours and you have it, you don't use it. Like, you take it for granted a lot of times. And I had to almost take a step back and realize, like, dude, not everybody has this. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I've built this with my father over the years. Like, and I've just
no,
helped.
this is insane. Like, this
Yeah.
is actually insane. I would, bro. Yeah, if I had this in my crib, like that would be awesome.
Yeah, like if I look back at it, like I wish. I mean, I actually don't wish anything, but what I would have done is that I would have just probably never even went to school and said, "Dad, let's get to work. Like, let's load up the camera." Because during COVID, because my brother still lived here. So to just give you a little background, me and my brother, we shared a room, and when I moved off to college, my parents threw my bed away. It's so fun. Day one, I'm like, what the? I was like, I'm only gone one day. I'm coming back. I was so sick. So when COVID happened, like I didn't have a bed for me. I slept in the studio. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, like there was a little couch back here because the studio. This is the fourth iteration of it, but there was a little couch back here, and I would just sleep in the studio. And like, I wish I hustled more on like just videos and stuff. I don't know. I just at that point I was just hustling in school and playing a lot of Warzone, playing a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stupid shit. Right? But I mean, I'm glad I started it now. You know what I mean? Better late than never. You know.
No, better late than never for sure. The best time to take action is now. At the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think one of the really cool things about just building this in general is everything I've learned. Like to me, like I said, when it's yours, you take it for granted in the sense of like when I'm sitting back there and I'm running the shows and stuff, it's like it's nothing to me. Like I just do what I need to do, tweak this volume, you know what I mean, set the live, go to whatever. But when people look at it and they're like, oh, how do you know how to do that? And then I realize I'm like, dude, that by the way is a 10-foot LED monitor. Like you could see it kind of. It's like individual panels connected,
it's crazy.
and it's three big ones. And my uncle actually came by and like I saw him working on every individual LED, you know, like through a microscope and connecting everything. It was insane watching it be built.
That's wild.
Yeah, and it's insane because my uncle he has his own production company pretty much. Like the other day, this DJ had a gig in Prudential Center, and he'll like set up all the audio and visual on the stage and stuff. So he has a ton of these screens, and he could help like we bought it off of him pretty much. But it's just insane because I went to his warehouse the other day, and like I looked around and he just had crates and crates and crates and crates and crates of like $20,000-$30,000 screens. I'm like, holy smokes! And if you see the guy walking on the street, you would never think of it. That's the one thing I truly love because I always thought when I was young, like I'd be like, I want this, I want the Lambo, I want the car, I want the chain, I want the watch, I want. But now, like seeing true wealth within people and seeing true happiness, it's not all that. It's not all the flashy stuff. Like the happiest, richest people I've seen is like the most humblest people I've seen, and that's something like I thank God every day that I was able to wake up and realize because like that's how I'm trying to lead my life now. Like you see me now, I don't wear any chains, no bracelets, no gold, and like just nothing on me. Like I don't know. First, I'm not at that level, you know what I mean, where I could even come close to it being reasonable. Like, oh yeah, I bought a Rolex, you know what I mean? Like my mom and dad are still working. Yeah, I want to retire them. My dad,
priorities.
Priorities, you know.
Basic priorities too. Yeah, obviously that'll keep you going a lot further. And I've never been driven by like cars and stupid shit like that. I've always liked building stuff for, building something dope.
Yeah.
Doing something real. I have a question. Wait,
Yeah.
did you watch all like the 3 short films that I made?
I only watched one.
Which one did you watch? Upgrade Your Character?
Yeah.
Dope.
I'm gonna sit back because like I told you, I don't consume much content like at all anymore unless it's like it's for this. So then like once I knew you responded, honestly, I just started doing a deep dive, listening to everything, watching everything. But like it's really hard to find me, just like go on YouTube, scroll, find anything. But then like I had Julian Dory on, or he actually had me in his studio, and I got a chance to interview him. Like now I watch all his podcasts. Like I interviewed John Rondi. Now I watch all his podcasts. Like people who show love to me and come out here, like I'll watch all their content without a doubt. You know what I mean? I'll make sure I have time for that because like, I mean, especially like Julian definitely doesn't understand how huge it was. Like I feel like anybody who comes in and like lets me interview them or gets a chance to like sit down with me and I get to post it, like they don't understand how huge that is for me. Like I could say this about Julian, like, and I think I might have said this before on the podcast with John Rondi, but he was a huge inspiration to me. And like even seeing him day in and day out, because he does 3-hour podcasts, he posts them 2, maybe 3 times a week, and he's clipping up all the time. Like so, and I know he does it with he runs it with Alessi, and I know he edits a lot of the stuff. So I'm like, dude, he's a workhorse. I'm like, this is who I'm competing against because he's about to reach 1 million subscribers. I'm like, this is my competition. You know what I mean? I have to be great. One thing he said on the podcast is like, why are people going to watch mine? You know what I mean? Like, I need to give them a reason to. So it needs to be high quality. So it's like just seeing the level he executes at, like, it woke me up. And I'm like, dude, I need to just step it up. And it's fine if I don't step it up right away, but now I just like, I try to get better with every video, like I said before, whether it's like my camera angles, whether it's like my audio, my editing, like my clips, like, cause clips, first thing, one big thing is I used to hate editing so much. I'm just now starting to love it, but it's just my clips. Like I never had to clip up any content, so I didn't understand like the hooks, like the strategy that goes into it. And even now, like I still don't understand it, but I'm learning, and I'm happy that I'm learning. You know what I mean? I'm getting better at it.
Yeah, I'd be happy to give you free access to my course and everything, my program and whatnot, if you wanted to give it a watch and check it out.
Definitely check it out.
It'll definitely help you out with your editing journey and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, anything that helps me, anything to learn, like my YouTube is literally just how to edit on CapCut, how to use DaVinci Resolve, how to do a better hook, like what is working nowadays. Just like when you said you first got into content that you wanted, or first got into business and started watching like real estate, Graham Stephan, all those guys, like that's the journey I'm kind of going on right now.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, the main way you're going to learn is obviously just by continued action. Like that's something I really try to get through to my creators as well, is just like you could watch the video course 10 times over and join every call, but at the end of the day, you just need to post videos and you're going to learn by doing it, you know? So, nah, you're on the right path, bro. You're on the right path.
Thank you, brother.
I got to get going somewhere soon because it's getting late. I'm getting tired. I've been going to sleep early.
No worries. We could cut it there.
Alhamdulillah. Awesome. You want to do you could do an outro or anything, or we just wrap it up?
Yeah, we just wrap it up. I just want to say again, thank you, because the earlier part, I'm not gonna cut it out. Most of my I don't really cut out. Like I'll just cut out when I say I gotta go pee, and then I'll go pee, and then I'll come back and I'll go straight into it. I don't really like to edit too much in the sense of like cut
picking
stuff out.
Yeah,
the only thing I do edit, and that's why it takes me a while, all these cameras record, so I just go in editing and swapping the angles out.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's gonna take a minute. Yeah. How long does that take? Like a few hours?
So for a 1 hour podcast, it takes me about 4 hours, and then this is a 2 hour one, so it'll probably take me double or maybe a little bit less.
Damn.
But like I said, I really don't mind it anymore. Like I just look at it as my release now, and I just enjoy it, man. Like
yeah, fair enough. And then once once you're printing more, then you can outsource that too.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's one thing. Like I know, like I edit the whole podcast. Let's say it takes me 8 hours.
I don't edit shit.
Yeah, no, I wish, bro. I wish I could afford it, but the thing is, I'm going on Fiverr and stuff. I paid $40 for this guy to clip something up, and it was so ass. I was so mad. I was like, bro, no way I just paid $40 for this. I could have done this shit for free. Like
for a clip?
Yeah,
One clip?
one clip.
Oh, you can get cheaper clippers than that too.
Yeah.
$40 for a trash clip. Like, you got scammed, yeah.
Bro, I literally I have Opus clip. Like I could have just freaking used Opus if I needed a trash clip. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
Opus
better
is trash too.
Yeah, like
Everyone trying to cut corners with like AI softwares with clipping. Like, you need a human touch to it
yeah,
at the end of the day to know like where to start it and stuff.
yeah, definitely. That was one of the things. So when I sent my clips over to Julian, first it took me like 3 weeks to send them. He doesn't know this because I was just so shook. I was so scared, like, cause he's like he's about to have 1 million followers for doing the same thing I'm doing right now. So he's executing at such a high level. I'm like, dude, I don't want to waste this opportunity and send him shit clips. And I just like was battling so much, you know what I mean? And then I still ended up sending him shit clips. He's like, is this AI? He's like, yo, like you could come by, like I'll help you out. Like I know it's AI, but it's like it's because of where it starts and ends. And I'm like, oh, where's like you want to help me out? I appreciate that so much. Like I was so stunned when he was like, bro, like come on now.
Because it was like a snowball for you. It was like every day that went on, and then it was like every day that went on, he's more angry, and he's expecting something better because it's taking more time. But your clip is still ass. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so it just.
And then he just was like, yeah, come by.
Yeah,
it's funny when that happens, you know.
But now I know better. Now I execute, I get stuff done, and I understand, like, I'm just getting started. It's not going to be the best, and I just try to learn from it. Like, I don't know, just try to, like I said, get better every day with it.
No, definitely. Shoot me a text, and I'll give you free access, and then let me know what you think.
Yeah,
too.
I got you.
I always love the constructive criticism. It's helpful.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll let you know, definitely.
Of course. All right, that's about it, right?
Yeah, like I said again, thank you for your time, brother. Thank you for coming out here. It's literally a shot in the dark. You don't know me, you're just like giving me a chance. So I really appreciate that.
Of course, bro.
My guy.
It's W Pod. W Pod.
Thank you, brother.
Awesome.
Let me stop.
That was great, bro.
Dude, that was sick.
Good time.
Yeah.
I like doing like the headphones and shit. It's fun.
Yeah, you just locked in. Like I felt like we're in our own world.
Yeah, you really do just go in your own little world. It's crazy.